Peace to you and yours. This is Brother Blue reporting live to you. Welcome to another episode of Know the Ledge TV / Know the Ledge Radio / it all comes under Know the Ledge Media. All right. I'm going to be joining a few by my co-host, Brother Red, and our guest for the evening, the Earth Keeper himself, RAS. Okay. So, peace, love, and light to the family. Make yourself comfortable. All right, welcome back to another episode. Good to be back in the building with y'all. Shout out to everybody that journeyed with us last night on Tough Talk Tuesday, episode 22. All right, shout out to the family. If you didn't check that episode out, highly recommend it. Get into the archive, deep dive into that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not going to be up for long. So you need to catch it while it's thin. But yeah, the God is gonna come through, and we got bars. So this is definitely gonna be one of those episodes. It already smells of a classic, and we just got started. All right, but we did get started a little bit earlier. We was on Facebook. We was on another platform. You know what I'm saying? So we had to shift it, come back over here. I got a new platform. I'm learning it as I go along. So I hit the wrong button. But nonetheless, as promised, we're coming to Connecticut February 22nd. All right, February 22nd, Hartford, Connecticut. We will be in the building February 22nd with the Facts 2020 initiative. At address is 224. I'm gonna get the rest of the address for you. You know what I'm saying? The second the red come through. But we will be in the building February 22nd, 2020. All right, I think the event even started at 2 p.m. I'm talking about? Yeah, peace, love, and light to the Caribbean. I'm just waiting on my there you go, co-host to show up. We're gonna get right into it. You know what I'm saying? And as I said before, peace to the God.
Yes,
peace to
I.
the God. Yes, I.
Respect.
Yeah.
Well, brethren.
You gotta open up your mic, unmute mic. I'm gonna handle that for you, good brother. You gotta unmute yourself. They're saying you gotta mute. There you go.
Yeah. Peace, brethren. Peace,
Yes,
brethren.
I.
Yes,
Respect.
yes.
Good.
Yes,
Y'all bringing me
Rastafari.
into
Peace.
2020 with the technology. Hold on, let me get the mic right. I mean the
mic
camera right.
Yeah,
All right. Yes, I think we good.
Yes,
boom.
Well,
is good.
yeah, man. Live and direct. Well, virtual and direct.
Well, listen. This is as good as it gets right here, baby.
Yeah, man.
We in the cockpit of the Nebuchadnezzar, sliding right into the matrix.
Yeah, man.
The beauty of it is we can have all of these conversations, but you have the backdrop to explain cosmologically why we would shift from, a radio format, a blog talk, and now here we are virtually. And, this is all a testament to the times that we're in and the technological leaps that are markers of said times and set alignments and conjunctions. So I love the beautiful language, you know what I'm saying, that you are able to give us the cloth, that the brothers and the sisters that know the movements of the planet and coincide and explain the movement of these bodies of stardust that we in. You dig what I'm saying?
True.
So yeah, man, this is a dope technology, and it gives us the ability to do dimensionally more than just what we do on KTL radio, because with platforms like this, like I did half of a lecture yesterday on my program, you could screen share and go through your slides and you know what I mean? That amazing lecture that I seen, because I love how they edited it. They had the pictures after you spoke and everything.
So you could do that all live and direct with this right here.
You could do the whole thing live and direct here with
all
the slide
day
and just build straight lectures. You feel me? So, you know, because we ain't got no time to waste. Ain't no time to be promoting what's coming. Boom, drop it. Like, you got to drop unexpectedly.
I've actually
2020.
Look, for about 2 days straight, after I got this technology, I've been writing all of my plans. You know, what you forecasted about 2020, it dropped right in our lap. I mean, it personally, I'm testing. Yeah, we're gonna get into it tonight, but I'm just saying that this year has got it's pouring out onto paper because of a technology that basically fell in my lap after we did a show with our good brother Knowledge Born Allah, who always comes and bears gifts. So he brought the gift of a new app to me, and after hold on, I went back to my notes and I was writing out all of the things that I needed in the app to pull off some of the things that I needed to pull off in 2020, because, you know, I didn't want to rush too much. I was trying to be patient. You know, now, you know, talking about they get to see them in HD. It wasn't like that in 2019. My diamonds was kind of cloudy. You know, my carbon was cloudy. I was only in H. I wasn't in D. Huh?
Your stardust was dusty.
My star, I went from ashy to ashier. You know what I'm talking about? You know, I know how you wanted against 5Gs, my brother, but I was on 1G technology for a minute. You know?
Hey, but you know, that's not a bad thing. You know, they say the turtle pace wins the race. You know, sometimes it's good to be a little behind the curve with the technology. Let them run through their betas and their deltas, you know, and then jump on right on time, you know.
Boom.
So it sounds like that's what y'all did.
Oh yeah. So we here, my brother. It's gonna be a very exciting particular. All glory and praise is due to the platform. I don't want to make this about red and blue this year. I want to make it about what got us here, and that's Know the Ledge. So this new format that we're adopting, where we're gonna take it, what we did in the audio realm through podcasting, we're gonna now explore that in the vlogcast or the vlogging world, or the new format of podcasting, which is gonna be this right here. You could share your screen. We could do a on-air lecture, a mini lecture about things. We could invite the audience in to come and chop it up with us live on TV. You know, we would just ask them to be in HD, you know. But other than that, we have there's so much of, you know, to fill in some of the voids that have been blaringly apparent in the world of melanated conscious media, if that's even a term.
Right.
Man. Yeah, man.
There's been something missing.
Yes.
Facts.
Well, 2020 is the season. Clarity of vision.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, man.
I mean, everyone will know the ledge from Melanin Mondays and Third Eye Thursdays. Those are our programs that we've been doing. They know about Ross Ben's 2020 predictions, my guy, because at least the last 3 or 4 shows we've been talking about them. The same.
Yo.
You know, which I put on record as one of the best reads. I'm sorry, what?
Your bandwidth is kind of skipping, at least on my end. I don't know if it's is it clear on everybody else's?
Nah, it is skipping a little bit.
Yeah,
it's like you're freezing up.
Yeah, you buffering and freezing or something like that.
I'm lit. That's why. Let me calm down. Let me turn my Let me turn my stardust down. Let me turn my drip down. I might have to turn this light off. You know what I'm saying? I'm eating up a lot of bandwidth. It's big drip.
Right.
Big drip.
Jamming up the frequencies.
You're moving like this.
Coming so radiant.
Yeah. You know, I get it. That's why in one way I'm one way we got to figure this 5G thing out, man, because that's my bandwidth. You know what I'm talking about? That's the kind of energy that I need.
Oh man. But I mean, before we even get in the conversation, our brother Ross Ben does have an amazing book detailing 5G. Can you speak on that? Where they can get that?
Yeah, rossben.com. That's my stop,
Yeah, exactly.
rossben.com. I don't really get down with the beast, Amazon too much. So that does
right.
Just that one decision makes it seem like I don't have a
direct to customer.
Yeah, but rossben.com, that's it,
That's facts.
Yeah, man.
Let me do this right, because I want to set the tone. We didn't start with the music, but I do want to do this because this is the day that they recognize the birth of MLK. And I don't want to say I went on a rant earlier, but I asked people, it's been 51 years since he's murdered. You know what I'm saying? You're still going to say that the decisions and the sacrifice that he made is the reason why you're not where you're supposed to be today? Because it's like you sitting in a burning house waiting on a glass of water, or you waiting on a water hose. What you waiting on? So you cannot no longer continue to say that you despised him for his nonviolence tactics, but you love what the hustle and the pimp represent, and the ultra violence and the hyper violence that we seen immediately after his demise. There hasn't been a fingernail lifted towards people's natural adversary, but we saw the violence, the ultra violence that they're capable of against themselves. And anyone that studies psychology, when a person is backed against a wall or the corner and they don't fight, but they turn around and cannibalize themselves, that's dealing with a fear that is self-consuming. You know what I'm saying? And the person has to now demonize and convince themselves that they are the op or they are the enemy because they don't want that smoke. So stop scapegoating MLK and the decisions that he made 50 fucking years ago when we lived through the crack era, my niggas. You get what I'm saying? And his hustlers outside on the corner right now terrorizing the hood. And nobody lifts a finger to it. And you glamorize it and idealize it. You dig what I'm saying? But you knocking him for his nonviolence stance. And the man had a heart of fucking gold and steel, right? Because in his last days, which we don't talk about, he made the decision. He knew what type of risk he was making.
He knew what it was.
He on the line to be the head of the people and got shot in his head. And he knew what time it was. He knew what he was. And he never turned his back and ran. So he ain't got to turn. You don't got to turn cheeks for the rest of the world and know niggas is cheeks. Niggas is cheeks. You dig what I'm saying? So the main theme you said of this year is taking responsibility and stop falling into victimization. I'm not going to allow nobody around me to talk about who this man was or who he wasn't. And you had 51 years to do different and you haven't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your ops are right outside. Go into that bag that you keep saying that he was supposed to go into. What's stopping you?
You know what I'm saying?
Right? Because nobody else went into it and give back welfare and give back everything that came from the Great Society. Because his move of what you saying was being was a political maneuver to utilize the technology of the day, which was television, to galvanize the heart muscle that he knew resonated in people.
That's right.
European, if not in this country, outside of this country. So he used the TV as a medium to create sympathy for the movement, where he put the pressure on the president where they had to pass legislation. Come on now.
Yeah.
That's what came out.
Yeah, people right. They knock the nonviolent approach, but they don't talk about it in the context that King's thing was about getting the moral high ground.
Moral high ground. I had read a book.
Having the moral, like, hey, right is right. We on the side of truth and right.
He utilized
omniversal. And
He
so
utilized
he
the
took
slow
up
move.
that mantle and took that weapon. That weapon was powerful on the world stage.
Powerful.
That thing was making the United States, it was a
Look
stain
crazy
on the
Look
world
crazy.
stage. And
Right.
the moral high ground, that's what I think King's exact terms was. He wanted the moral high ground. And you're right that when King was doing his thing, you could say like our community, our society, we had the moral high ground. Now with the gangster thing being like what is like the face of our community, we lost that moral high ground now.
Right. They're the alpha of the epsilon, as Wesley Muhammad may say. Right. So in our society, we are emphasizing the highest level of fuck niggas. You know what I'm saying? The highest
Yeah.
level of the lowest class, which is the
Yeah.
epsilon.
Yeah.
Right. The highest degree of that. So the alpha in our society is the one that got the most body count of his own people.
Exactly.
The alpha in our society is the one who successfully pushed the most poison underneath the radar, ghosts. Right? That's what they identify as power in our community. You know what I'm saying? It's no longer people that were willing to sacrifice. He gave his life for the multitudes, not just Christians, right? Not just Christians, for the multitudes. He had a dream. Goddamn, you're gonna knock him for having a fucking dream and having the wherewithal to follow through and make the necessary plays to get this shit done, to get the ball past the goal line. If that's what he felt was the salvation of the people on some Moses shit, look at the plays he pulled, right? There's so many lanes open. There's 45 million melanated people on the planet at this in this country alone. So if they feel that they have the alternative play, where's that? Where's that? That was 50 years ago that he did that play. And he's coming from a Christian perspective to utilize Christianity against the quote unquote slave master in this country. He played judo with them. He took their own power and threw it back at them.
That's right.
If you're going to play Christianity, you're going to play this moral ground. Let me show the rest of the world what kind of Christians you are. There's like, we're going to give you whatever you need to just shut up and go over there for a second. And he put on, instead of personally popping off with a Rolls Royce, which is what some of these niggas did.
Which is most of them. That's right. Which they thought he was going to do.
Right. He got legislation passed. So if you have an EBT card in your pocket right now, mail it back if you don't appreciate the sacrifice made by MLK. That's all I'm saying. So we can move on and take accountability, because the opportunities that are present before us this year are not going to be able to seize with closed hands, right? This is what victims look like. It's what a victim look like, right? The whole world is raining on their head. Chicken Little. You got to have your hands open, right, to receive the abundance. So I had read in the Kabbalah book, one of these older books that people don't get access to. They said turning the cheek was the highest degree, right? It was one of the highest degrees of attainment of enlightenment in Kabbalah. I'm like, look at this. I can't believe it. He really made it to the promised land. He was on some 33 degree for real. So we don't even understand the type of rituals that entailed. And then I met melanated people down here, elders who were preachers that trained with him. He was like, look, and these is gangsters, you know, not gangsters in the terms of how people recognize gangsters to be, but I'm saying these are men.
Right. These soldiers. Soldiers.
They done lived through it and they still alive down here. And they told me, they said, look, they will have pound down, knuckle up sessions, right? You had to be able to survive that. You were being trained to be part of that that cavalry, because that cavalry was fight ready. So in order to get hit in the jaw, you had to be trained for that. These wasn't no punks. If they had to go there, they had the ability to do so to secure their lives, because anything else would be suicidal. You're going into the belly, right? People is not built like that already to make those sacrifices today. Last week today, I was at the opening of the Legacy Center, which is the Brother Jay Morrison Center here in Atlanta, right? It was funded by over 1,000 investors, micro investors. And the sister Tamika Mallory, who was a current day civil rights activist, was telling the story about how her and Jay Morrison's wife, Ernestine, were part of a small contingency of women who were going to defend that black girl that got beat up in Waffle House. And they were going into a town in Mississippi, and the politicians and the quote unquote leaders told them, don't go to that town because the KKK said they're going to kill you if you show up there. You know what I'm saying? This melanated young girl was like, look, her and the girl Ernestine made a sole decision that they was going to go and hold that girl down, right? Against the advice of all of the elder leadership. They went and they got other women and they went down there and made it happen in the face of the motherfucking KKK.
Wow.
You understand? And ain't no men hold them down. I think they said my son held them down. My son was there and a few other brothers, but I'm saying the breadth of brothers and what have you wasn't present. The women made it happen. They soldiered. And I seen
that season for that too, brethren.
For Eric Gardner, you know what I'm saying? I seen that, and I seen it with the Mike Brown situation. It's the women.
Yeah, it's that season.
It's the season.
It's that season. So, it's time for the sisters. They, you know, the spirit's moving through them.
It's moving through them.
Spirit of self-determination.
You know, on 8/8/17 of the Lionsgate, the day that the Lionsgate hit, right? And when I was down, I had to go to Flatbush with Sarnetta. They was protesting the lady that got beat up in the nail salon on Nostrand Avenue.
Right.
And we were down there protesting, telling the Korean what we was gonna do. Her grandniece was 9 years old. Young girl named Isis came through with the bullhorn. When she started roaring at them, the sky opened up and it started torrentially downpouring. Now, as the Most High is my witness, this is on tape because we was filming during the whole thing. So people can go to the archives and see this stuff. It's on Sarnetta TV for the nail salon protest. This little girl opened the whole sky up. Them Koreans was out of there in under 5 minutes because they knew what they was looking at. The police even was like, look, we up out of here too. Did that. Literally down Babylon. So we have no idea where it's going to come from. You know what I mean? And we undermining the tools that we have at our disposal. Because we're now looking in the most unobvious places for answers. You understand?
The women and children.
Yeah, women and children. I was told that this is the type of year where that's going to be at the forefront. So before we jump into this, which we're going to be jumping into this next, I just wanted to play this piece, this recording that I had made about 3 years ago. And it was called A Dream Deferred, all right?
I have a dream. One day, this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed.
My people are not strong enough to let go of the dream that no longer provides them strength. A dream deferred with a rotten stench. My people are buckling under the weight of this dream that has become such a heavy burden that 5-year-olds literally have to have the might of Hulk Hogan to hold on and hold up this crumbling dream. We have ushered our family to a burning house in hopes of finding this dream. But we are now so deep in a house, it's virtually impossible to get out. The ceiling is collapsing and we are using our youth as shields to absorb the blunt force trauma from this collapsing beams. Buckling under pressure, eroded from exposure to the elements, weakened from within. An infrastructure that has been molested by the molars of mechanized nano termites as if they had their national convention there. You can rise from butler to president of this house. America will find a way to remind you, though, you still a nigga, boy. In this house, you can rise through the ranks of being America's boy to America's dad. Primetime entertainment in the big room. America will still find a way to remind you still a nigga, boy. You can go from mammy of the house to first lady of the house, and America will fix her big fat mouth to remind you and your children, you still a nigga, boy. Funny thing is, this the house you built, and those unruly house guests are just visitors from out of town who have overstayed their welcome. But these some savvy tourists, they found where you hid the deeds and they put their best forgerers on the job, and now they got the nerve to try to show you the door because they found them some Mexicans willing to do the shit that you once did with no hassle. They ain't about to be waving no deeds in the face of these usurpers, telling them to tread water back to Europe. Oh no. They know the Mexican will settle for a room in a house that they can all pile into on some Airbnb shit. Even had the nerve to call them dreamers, while they reinforce the stereotype that Joe babies are America's nightmare, worthy of death by firing squad. So, again, what happens to a dream deferred? What happens to the unique vision of our future by our future dreamers? How long are we to trade or forfeit our dream of a better tomorrow for a cookie-cutter version of a dream that is not realistic? Is it not a movie prop like Pleasantville, the white picket fences? Or are you still invested into this dream? If you were evicted out of the big house and had to live in a tree house, would that strengthen the roots of our family? Is this burning mansion with mega rooms tricking us to believe just because the fire hasn't reached your wing of the house that it's not on fire? Oh, that's just them burning, huh? What becomes of a dream deferred? What consequence does the constant non-stop loop of seeing Mike Brown's body undone, drying up like a raisin in the sun as the blood careens down the street and life retreats into the clouds? What does this do to the psyche of a child? Seeing Eric Garner, a gentle giant, being dealt the most aggressive of treatments on camera at that, but being told what you saw was not a crime. Unfortunately, this was not only a signal to the police around the world, or the militia, or the vigilantes, or anyone with a nigga right, but also to your children who mimic behavior. It won't be too long before a song hits World Star or a clip hits Vine with one of our own applying a chokehold. Remember, the children have to laugh to keep from crying. Keep in mind, what you feed to the subconscious before closing your eyes becomes a reality you project when you go to sleep. It's time to wake up and stay woke in order to dream a new dream. Babies is watching. Eyes wide. Wake up!
Go drop a bomb on yourself. Oh. And that was before they was using the word woke, right?
I wrote that.
Yeah, all right. So, you know, that's my sentiments as it pertains to people complaining about the burning house but making a bed in it. I don't get that. You feel me? You know what I mean? But for those who are fed up, for those who are uncomfortable sleeping on springs, you actually have the permission to go and build your own house, you know what I'm saying, on the best parts of this planet, because the planet just opened up. And I'm so motherfucking excited to say that just alone with what's going on in Ghana has fulfilled the prophecy of you niggas being in the Jubilee year. Where the fuck is the celebration at? Huh?
Fact.
So the Jubilee year said, yo, on August 20th, your 400 years of suffering is over. In the place that you motherfucking came from, just banked $1 billion from your return, and none of you niggas was involved. Who the fuck went back then? Right? And if they just made a billy on a smidge of the people who did make that trip, imagine the mass motherfucking exodus going back from whence you came. So you niggas can stop crying about this motherfucking homeland that when it benefits you because you got your hand out for a check you say is yours, but you're not willing to fight for it.
Mm.
So I'm gonna leave it at that. And Brother Ross, you have some vital information. And let me say this. I'm gonna qualify the conversation that you started because June 12th, when the conjunction hit, the video popped up of the brother from Puerto Rico saying what?
What's
January 12th.
January 12th, a video went viral, right? That day and the next day, a video went viral of a dude that works at the oil situation in Puerto Rico. And he was like, yo, the niggas is drilling and they drilling on the seafloor and they shit that's coming from Venezuela. And he's like, look, they snatching up the earth resources. That's why we got these earthquakes.
Wow.
Boom. So it wasn't Iran. They backed down from that. That's about oil and the natural resources as well. But it manifests in that situation. That earthquake, they also shared, because we're talking about conjunctions, windows, and time cycles. So it was right after the 10-year anniversary for Haiti.
Right.
It was the 10-year anniversary of the Haiti earthquake. There was cause, that is a fact, because the earthquake in Puerto Rico is not in alignment with the behavior of the other earthquakes in the Ring of Fire.
Right.
You have earthquakes and you have volcanoes going off in the Ring of Fire. That's directly aligned to me, to from my perspective, with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. But the earthquakes that you see in Puerto Rico, those are not necessarily as a result of the conjunction. That's man-made. That's fracking, and drilling, and
got some like heart resonance, like some intentional
those plates. And Puerto Rico and Bahamas, they share joint military bases with. I believe China has an interest over there as well as some other characters or actors that America is not in alignment with.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Somebody said repeat that last point, Blue, that you made. They might not have heard that.
Oh, I mean, the last point that we were speaking about was the fact that when RAS Ben broke down with this 33-year cycle, the first conjunction of the year occurred on January 12th, right? Yeah. And there were three things that happened on that day that confirms, right? Because we're not going to take a lot of time trying to prove nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? We're going to lay the groundwork out and the trajectory. And if the information is for you, then you plan accordingly so you can ride the wave instead of ending up underneath it. So the confirmation for January 12th, which translates to taking or securing Earth's natural resources, right? There was three things that happened. The imminent war in Iran is definitely about them snatching up the remainder of Earth's natural resources.
Right.
Global
resource reset.
Global resource reset. They're only the time period on them utilizing petrol fuels and things of that nature is waning. And that particular country doesn't do transactions, commerce in dollar bills anymore. So also at a time when this dollar is dying and they're trying to stem they're trying to slow down the death of it, they want to quiet and patch up some of the places that are accelerating the death of it. And then there's the whole bank issue dealing with Iran. But that situation hasn't fully manifest. And then you look at the situation with the King Harry, Prince Harry,
royal split.
The royal split. So now she has to go into her investments, which are all based on real estate and natural resources that she's plundered and stole from across the planet. So now they are outwardly talking about what her possessions are, but they can't speak about it because they really don't know because it's in the trust. You understand? So it was told to me by my math teachers a long time ago, she has the most real estate on the planet next to like probably the Vatican or something like that.
That's absolutely right.
But what actually happened is we can physically say, we can sit back and look at as a confirmation of what that theme of that conjunction meant was the viral video that popped off on January 12th of a worker from Puerto Rico who dropped the news. It was like, look, I work with these people. I know what's going on. They're snatching up. Yeah, they're drilling, they're fracking, they're drilling at the base of the ocean, at the shell of the ocean, because they're siphoning the same oil that Venezuela is getting, because they are attempting by any and all means to get into Venezuela and overthrow that government to get that natural resource. But Maduro and them have been holding them off with the assistance of other socialist/communist countries.
Iran.
Just like they got a deterrence about what just they try to pop on Iran, but they got a deterrent. We don't know who was the one that told them, look, if you do this, we're gonna do that. You feel me? So you ain't even set the chessboard up yet. Don't play this game. So Homie had to step down momentarily.
Somebody moved the chess piece on them.
Somebody moved the chess piece on them.
But look, no one is explaining who was in the plane that they took down, because whatever play that was, when they took the plane down,
yeah,
that stopped everything.
Yeah, that was a chess move.
Whoever died in that plane, that was part of their theater where they was like, all right, hold your horses, checkmate, because everything de-escalated after they took their own plane down. Now in Iran, they're utilizing propaganda. The CIA is, I don't know who's the ones working it, but they're imploding as a result of the fact that the people are, the image, the perception is beginning to change, and the regime change, the cry for regime change is becoming even stronger. So you got China being unsettled by Hong Kong, right? With that whole aspect,
right,
and then you have Iran with this work going on from within. Now another thing happened. The conjuncture, the day of the conjuncture, Britain, the British came out and was like, yo, we're not rocking with USA no more. We're going different ways because of their policies. It's not in alignment with what we about in the future. So the same time you have the great split between the American Meghan Markle and the quote unquote royal family from the UK, there's a Brexit that took place. There's a split. Remember, you can't come back after you leave. That once they like, yo, we not rocking with these people no more. We going on our sympathy tour. You understand? Right. We're going on with the NGOs. We're going on, the missionaries. We're about to go into Africa, into other places. We got Hope and be with us.
They're expatriating. It's like Moors. If you divorce this country, they're like, don't come back.
Don't come back. They're expatriating. They
have a plan.
True.
But their whole conversation is about security. It's about money, security.
Facts. So in the public, like that show you did last night, Blue, when you was I think we're Rich. You were going in on a Meghan Markle. That was an excellent commentary. Like, they're not losing their royal title with the people. It's only going to increase.
Right.
Because now they could play the card where, we know that our grandmother was mad wicked, but that's why we left. Or, we don't really.
These reptilians, we ain't want our baby to get eaten.
But what's the Valentine?
Right. Megan just got to watch her back right now, though.
Oh, she got to watch it.
But what did they say about Harry 20 years ago, who he was?
Harry Potter.
Yes. So I'm just saying, Harry Potter is making his move. Harry Potter is still on the move. Harry Potter is going to be more famous now than he was behind the veil of the quote unquote thing. But that could be you still got to watch that with a third eye, because he's been prophesized. Yeah, it could be he's been already pointed out. Even when his mother was alive, they was talking about Harry.
Right.
That's the one they was talking
And he's
about.
still dropping his signs. When you watch his photos, my man be, dropping his signs still.
Oh, for sure. Everybody talk about the blackface photo and everything, but I
Right.
want to say this to everyone who's so triggered by white people in blackface. If you're so triggered by white people in blackface that if you look for it, you're gonna always find it. You know what I'm saying? It's a Becky and Ken pastime. And when you go to Rolling Out, when you go to Lapalooza, when you go to Bonanaro, whatever these concerts are, where all of these white people are in blackface. Post Malone is in blackface. Those tattoos on his face, that's blackface. You understand? All of that stuff that these MGK and all of them, they're all in blackface. So the new blackface is to mimic and to mock. Riff Raff is blackface. So let's cut it out. That's the modern day blackface. But when you weren't looking, yeah, they were putting on shoe polisher and whatnot. That's what they do. That's an initiation into the frats. That's an initiation into their fraternities. That's an initiation into the sororities. That's part of college life. But imagine what they're doing later on. They're putting on real mask of black faces like they were doing in like my dude Buffalo Bill and what's that movie? Silence of the Lambs. They put in Shanae's mask on their face. One of those missing black girls out there and whatnot. So don't trip out and don't get wild triggered because you could pull up pictures of Eminem or somebody or Harry in blackface. Nigga, that's what they do. I'm sure we could pull some pictures up with you niggas with blonde wigs on too.
Well, that was my thing. How many of us putting on, like you say, blonde wigs and lightening up our skin?
Try to look
right?
like
They don't.
Magnus.
Where's the politics with that? Where's the outrage with that?
Look, at least they blackface come on and come off. Your white face don't motherfucking come off.
It don't come off.
You altering, you going in and making decisions and cutting your whole shit up to look like them, and you got the nerve. So I'm gonna let the brother RAS Ben get into this, man. Yeah. This is what we talking about.
Check my jacket.
The clinical terms is called code switching. I don't mean to cut you off. It's code switching, right? And double consciousness, as described by W.E.B. Du Bois. In the movie Us, he attempted to, I don't think he succeeded fully, but he attempted to show the double consciousness that exists within the brain of North American blacks.
Right.
It doesn't matter your religious domination. If your religious domination does not address how to deal with double consciousness, being that you're naturally bilingual. You have a black voice, you have a European voice. You have a voice to make them feel comfortable, and you have a voice to make them feel scared because people we learn how to commodify and monetize making white people uncomfortable. When you want to talk about Martin Luther King and his legacy, that's part of the con game. It's part of 3-Card Monte. They actually put down the con and they picked up the code switch because it's a con. Who could act whiter? Who could put on the whitest white face around these white folk and dig their pockets while they smiling in their face, bro? It's a con, and it's Negroes in Hollywood and all places where white wealth is consolidated, playing the 3-Card Monte magical Negro con game. That's a fact. Yeah, sorry to bother you. How about it?
Yeah. But our good brother, we've laid a lot of different conversation and what have you out. I want you to start wherever you choose to decide to start, with a plethora of topics that we've thrown up on the board.
Yeah, well, I will just say that 2020, year of the great conjunctions. And the reason we named it that was we got several major planetary alignments occurring throughout the year, right? And the first one we just experienced, January 12th, Pluto, Saturn, major, and That's a 33. That the frequency of that conjunction is the 33. And we know ones be working at 33.
Yes,
Just like y'all work the 44,
yes,
you
sir.
know?
Yes.
But y'all working it with the omniversal, like the omniversal matrix.
Right.
Seeing how the omniversal creative blueprint just manifests.
Right.
You know, almost like God's fingerprint is the 44, you know? Or
That's
the
exactly
angelic
what
fingerprint.
That's
But
exactly.
these ones be working at 33 frequency.
It's evidence as far as fingerprint, and 33 in particular is about measurement. You know what I'm saying? Because masonry is about measurement, literally width, not necessarily depth.
Yes.
Because the compass and the squares all dealing with
All measurement. Yes.
The compass is 47 degrees, and if you divide 47 degrees, you get 23.5, which is the angle of Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn.
Check that.
So the compass and the square is about them circumnavigating the globe,
right?
He said rituals because they're doing them in form of a cube. So I don't have to focus on the length and the width of a thing if I if I create it into an object. I just have to control this, and this controls everything else. That's the magic that they playing. So when these conjunctions come around, I mean,
right.
Any
and
science
that's at 33.
Yeah, they're gonna jump
that
on
33 frequency is Pluto Saturn. And so it's about controlling Earth's resources. And right, you put even deeper layers on it. So if
Absolutely.
When Pluto and Saturn come together, we know something's going to jump off, you know, about global resources. And you're right, we done seen it express itself on so many levels that y'all were touching on. Iran in particular.
Yes.
I'll be honest. I think what happened with Trump and Iran, I don't think Trump ever wanted to go to war. And I think what was happening, John Bolton was kind of holding Trump hostage with the threat of going testifying in front of Congress.
Yes.
And pushing Trump's hand to attempt him to get engaged, you know?
Right.
And I think that when Trump standed down earlier, they staged that embassy bombing in Iraq. It was probably like a kind of on that false flag frequency, hoping to again trigger Trump to do something, you know. But you know, Trump don't want no war legacy, man. That's what I'm paying attention to. This man don't want no war legacy, and no matter Bolton and them boys. It's funny because Trump be talking about that deep state, right? I think that Bolton represents that deep state.
Yeah.
You know, that there is these forces. We see one podium when Trump is up there, but it ain't one voice happening right now, you know? And yeah, we just got to pay attention to that as far that scenario. But then something else that jumped off today, you know, Trump and China made a major trade deal today.
Yeah,
major trade deal where I think China agreed to
the embargo. What is this?
200 billion more U.S. goods. It appears like Trump got China. Like Trump, all these tariff wars and everything, like it played out like, bam, Trump got him, you know? But China got all our debt. So this thing ain't over. You know, gotta keep our eye out on that. But like you say too, them royal dynamics, the Brexit and Megxit is both Pluto, Saturn dynamics, man, and that royal.
Is it Megxit?
No, that royal drama, because it's like, from my understanding, them royal bloodlines them kind of on that incestuous frequency. You know, they want to keep their bloodline within their family, right?
Yes.
So, but you know that deteriorates your genetics. If you just keep breeding within your own family, X number of generations, all of the genetic defects is going to manifest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every seventh generation, 7 generations, they got to get like a real human, someone fully human, someone with full human genetics.
Right.
Get them in the bloodline, you know,
To reset.
strengthen the genetic fabric and the genetic code.
Yeah,
But
reset.
usually that one that they bring in like that, them sacrifice. Also, they bring them in. They'll have the you know, the seed, and then boom. Diana was probably like in that pattern, you know. And although they ain't wait 7 generations for Megan to hit the scene, right? I still think it's kind of on them dynamics, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an alchemical formula. They encoded all this thing in alchemy, you know. And this was really like when they talk about that movie Get Out and the coagula. This is what this thing is really about, the historic root of what they were symbolically representing in Get Out as far as the coagula, right? It's not a machine where you take the brain out and put it in the next one, but it was about reinstoring genetic integrity in these incestuous bloodlines, but also stealing prophetic birthrights. You know, they ain't just take no one random. You know what I mean? They paid close attention to whatever bloodline you came out of, because that they know that determined your place in prophecy. And if they wanted your place in prophecy, like, oh, you one of them that's supposed to be saved on Judgment Day, right? Yeah, man, them gonna breed you up. They're gonna coagulate with you, you know. So Meghan Markle, this thing of them
blood, just like I was saying last night, this is all about blood.
Yeah, and it ain't nothing new. How they was tripping out with
blood and blood,
Harry linking up with Meghan, like, oh, he's dealing with a sister.
Yeah.
Even going back when you study French nobility, right? That was a very big thing in them French bloodlines, you know.
Absolutely.
And
French mother.
yeah, that's an ancient thing, and again, it's an alchemical formula. They made it an alchemical formula because they wanted to keep certain aesthetics in their bloodline, right? But they still wanted the birthright. They still wanted, well, you say they still wanted our swaggy juice. I saw your joint, Red, when you right, because when y'all went to London and you said like, yo, we done seen the original stock, and we see who the ones we living with, and there's a difference. We got that, and the difference is
It's
you know,
blood.
yeah, man, that's not random. That thing, and I don't know if y'all got the Great Mystery Philadelphia yet. I got to put that in your hands, but that is one of the deeper mysteries we did penetrate in that, you know, because all of that's encoded here in Philly. You know,
damn sure.
The Philadelphia Eagles represent the coagula. That's like the eagle, because you know the Scorpio has several symbols that represent its dynamics, but the eagle represents the eternal, rejuvenating youthfulness of Scorpio, right? And you know, in what you call like Greek classical literature, Ethiops were known as Macrobian. the long-lived. We were the long-lived Ethiops because our genetics, the integrity of our genetics, we were long-lived,
Henrietta Lacks.
And so out of that birthed this symbolism of the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is the Black woman's womb. And you drink from this cup, you get this eternal life, These were all allusions to getting that macrobian genetics through our women, right? And yeah, man, again, it ain't nothing new. It's nothing new. And
Brother Ross, for the family who may not be aware of the January 12th conjunction between Saturn and Pluto, and basically what that means to the rest of the year, can you just, walk them through what it means as above, so below?
Yeah, man. Right. I know I got all spun out, right?
No, that's all good.
No.
But yeah, man. Well, I know on one level, I'm gonna just say on a personal level, we are gonna I would say the stage is set for everyone to have a resource reset right through here. We should have multiple ways of exchange available to us through this year. Okay? Electronic and non-electronic. Because when this resource, this whole year, things that have been triggered this month and right through here that we've been talking about, it's going to ripple out throughout the year, impacting global resources. The events in Iran can really impact oil prices.
Yeah.
So like prices at the pump, just on a real mundane level. Them run-ins with China, run-ins with Brexit can impact cash flow and cash availability. So you want to be ready. You want to have a lot of resources and a lot of variety of resources, a means of exchange on hand, And
you were speaking about something very interesting on your YouTube breakdown when you were talking about a modem of exchange and a medium of currency that people might not be able to see. You know what I'm saying? And you spoke about the impending, arrival of it being recognized as currency. And you were talking about quartz crystals. And you also said that the mother of the matrix, the mother of the pills.
Yeah, Sophia Stewart. And I saw the video a while ago.
Yeah.
And you should when you see an important video, you should capture that joint.
She reached out to me the other day, so it was right.
Oh man, well I'm thankful to hear that, brother, because I want to chop it up with her on that, because I saw that video years ago and it like what? Because
she's ready.
What it was, someone was asking her about the Cashless Society.
Yes.
And what she thought about it. And she was like, yeah, I think other means of exchange is going to evolve out of it. And there's probably going to be new forms of currency in the future. And they might be, I don't know, crystals. She just said it like, boom. And it was like, I saw the video, it tripped me out. I was like, man. And then I couldn't find it again. So I'm glad you actually got the direct link, because I want to chop it up with her on that. We're
gonna do that.
But that always stuck out to me, because it's like it's such a logical means of exchange. Again, it's nothing new. If you they got YouTube, there are YouTubes about indigenous societies and their use of sacred stones as currency. So it is really like returning to an indigenous means of barter and exchange. But crystals, they got inherent and intrinsic value. You know, the intrinsic value is whatever we say they worth. But in their nature, just what they are, they got a value, and that value is their healing. So, and coming into this Aquarian season, and we see we're also there's this cashless society, this move to the cashless society. We need to be promoting amongst ourselves what we would say non-electronic or non-Babylon electronics. Something you ain't got to plug into a computer or hack into the internet to do this exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Physical, tangible, non-electronic means of exchange. Organic means of exchange. We need to start cultivating that so that because when Babylon goes cashless, right? I just see how they doing. Like, man, a lot of people are going to just one day they're going to be able to push a button, and so many people are going to be disenfranchised, not be able to get on a plane, not be able to buy food, not be able to get basic services. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so,
period.
How are you going to keep currency flowing in your life if you don't have the real ID, if you don't have the chip that that is accepted at the food terminal, right? We got to have some other means of exchange. And we can't eat crystals, but crystals are healing. You can't eat money either, right? But money, we give it a value that is really, money is paper and cotton. Look at the value we give it, right? Crystals got healing potential.
Facts.
We could give
and a whole memory
crystals the same value as we give that cotton and that paper, and use it as the means of exchange amongst ourselves when they attempt to go cashless.
Mm-hmm.
So Sophia Stewart inspired them thoughts in my heavens, and it's one of the means of exchange we need to promote amongst ourselves.
And this is a fact.
Where we going?
We did share with the family that we will be going to Arizona next month to secure some stock, and the family should secure some stock in that investment. Blue Pillar 44 at Gmail. Holler at us if you want to get in on the ground floor, because the brother will tell you, even when I went to Tucson, I found out that they actually have a commodity market for stones. And they said that stones are commodities because they appreciate in value. Why? Because they do the things that they say that they do. So not only are they earth's healing stones that have been here longer than you have, you know what I'm saying? But they also hold properties, and those properties are good. They factored out. So these stones actually appreciate. I mean, they said that they had a whole, because there was a part that you couldn't go into, and they said that they had like a whole, like how they got a financial market, like a trading board and all of that. They said that they had all of that for stones.
Man, they got whole shows we can't get into, bruh.
Whole shows
you gotta be bonded before you get up in that joint, because there's so much gold, diamond, platinum, up in the spot,
So
look, this is the mathematics that I think really gives us clarity on this. Worldwide, the whole gem and mineral industry is about a 40 billion year industry. Worldwide, global, 40 billion, right? Annual. Every annual, all right? In the US, about 9 billion. So of the 40 billion worldwide, gems and minerals, US about 9 billion is spent annual, right? How much does our community spend on hair care annually?
Shoot.
It's my understanding 9 billion, man. Hair care. That's my understanding. We spend 9 billion on. So I'm sharing that to say we're not poor in resource. We're poor in values. What we think is important and what we put our ashe into is where our poverty lies.
Right.
You know?
Somebody asked a good question from the chat. What kind of crystals and gemstones should we be collecting for our melanin?
Well, the 3 key ingredients of our melanin is copper, carbon, and sulfur. So if your crystal got one of them, you can't go wrong. Carbon, copper, sulfur, right? The covalite, I know you mentioned the covalite a couple of strongs ago. Covalite is the crystal melanin because it's got all 3, carbon, copper, sulfur, and it's super conductive, you know? So like how they got the, what they call it on the Black Panther, what's the thing?
Vibranium.
The vibranium, right.
Yeah.
So I would say the real life vibranium would probably be the covalite. You know? Shungite is right there. It's like a superconductive carbon, right? Then you got your definite melanin healers and feeders like pyrite, which is iron and sulfur.
Right.
Your malachite, iron and copper and oxygen. Azurite, which is copper and carbon, right? So all of them is definitely melanin power stones, you know?
This is shungite right here.
Yeah. And then the quartz and melanin basically do a lot of the same things.
Right.
You know? Yeah. Silicon
for the 5G though.
With the same powers, a lot of the same powers, you know? They like overtones and harmonics of one another. You know?
And I also want to put on the record, January 12th, around that time also is when Akon made his announcement about the Akon City, which was him securing access to natural resources because he utilized his ability to tap into diamond mines to even access that wealth, and then he leveraged it into cryptocurrency. Once he created that digital asset, then he was able to leverage investment from China to build out a city, which is going to take 10 years. So he has secured the means in which he signed a deal and inked it, I think, like on the 10th to finalize it. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's there's a lot of signs of things to come, you know, that these conjunctions are right on time.
Yes.
I want to show something real quick.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I want to share something next.
You can see the screen?
Yeah.
All right. So this was the 12th. This is what was going on the 12th, right? You say as above, so below, correct?
Right.
So this is the energy that the planet was expressing.
That's right. It's Philippines, right?
This is the Philippines.
Oh.
Now,
that's some Saturn Pluto right there.
No, look at what's coming. This is to show you how God expresses itself, or how the ancestors are here.
Oh.
So this is supposed to be from inside of a volcano, but the lightning is coming from inside the volcano. It's not coming down, as you can see.
Oh.
You know, so that's energy. That's something else going on. That's spiritual. If you want to talk spirit, look at this.
Oh.
What's that?
Bear with me.
Man.
Is that a war going on? Like, what is going on? That's not lava.
Bear witness. And I said, during them times, man, I should try to tell people.
So this took place on the day that you prophesied in 2019, because the video that you did was in 19 when you were talking about when you were talking about the alignment.
Right.
And if I mean, you were on point, because when that day came, I was paying attention to the cosmos. I was paying attention to the signs. And that came to me the next day. You know, that was on World Star. I was like, wow,
man.
What's the odds that an event, that something like that, an Earth event, would take place, to kind of like, because when you think about Saturn and Pluto, that's what it would look like if they would have, if they would have, you know, if you would have looked through the telescope and to see what the activity on Saturn or Pluto is, right, it would be explosive like that.
Because Pluto is Vulcan.
It's Vulcan.
Pluto rules the volcano.
It's the volcanoes.
You know, he's the pressure of the underworld, revealing, you know, just like our subconscious is our internal pressure. That, you know, the pressure of your subconscious is going to make, you know, whatever's in your subconscious, it got to come out. It's got to express itself. That's like the volcano, pressure bust pipe, you know?
Right. Saturn and Pluto is whatever is buried
is going to
come to the surface.
Yes.
So the volcanoes and the earthquakes are symbolic of what? That's symbolic of something great, something powerful pushing up and coming to the surface. Henceforth, huh?
So let me share something with you real quick. Let me share my screen.
Do your thing.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be ready next time. I'm gonna have some shit to share.
We're gonna get this thing situated. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna work it out.
All right. This is one. We'll get back to this. Hold on. We'll get back to that. Give me a second. I got bars on top of bars, and y'all see the screen?
Yeah.
All right. So, you know, you asked what the most impactful story of 2019 was, and the audience unanimously said it was the death of Nipsey Hussle. You know what I'm saying? So I started this off by explaining to people, you know, Nipsey Hussle. I did an amazing show last night where I laid it out, and I'll do it again if I need to. I showed people through gematria, he was the heralding. He was a sign of things to come. You know what I'm saying? He started the conversation about the rising or the presence of Christ energy. I had never in my lifetime heard people engage and entertain the thought of messianic force being amongst someone from our walk, our generation, and our times. You know what I'm saying? That the fact that he died at 33 as a Leo during the spring equinox on April 1st or March 31st at that, the ending of one cycle to start a new one. Because like I said, the whole aspect of this period of time they were in winter, this is the death. This represents the fourth quarter, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. And then the reset is in Aries. So the day after Christ Mass, you know, we get this Christmas eclipse with the fire in the ring of fire eclipse, right? And then immediately after that, we get a succession of earthquakes hitting the ring of fire, right? And then it'll have to be the same place that this particular eclipse affected or hit over. It's the correlation of the theme of the ring of fire. You know, coinciding with tying into the 12/12 full moon that happened at 12/12. So these are all signs. You dig what I'm saying? Going into Genesis 15:13, where they talk about the 400-year cycle. And you have already expressed 20 times 20. This is a 2020 year. 20 times 20 is what?
400.
So we've already been here. The curse of Ham, right? Going through this whole aspect of Ham. But, you know, as much as they say Ham is the fucking curse, but God damn it, our people is holding this shit up unlike anybody else. Don't tell me that we're not the people of Ham. Look what we do with Ham.
Right.
Look at what we did with Ham. Right?
Niggas Ham. I don't care what nobody.
Let's just move. Let's just get the other shit out the way so we can teach. Fuck what your feelings are. This is niggas.
Yeah, Aki Baka even be blocking that sound because he say they call our augmentation pigmentation.
Pigmentation.
They call our augmentation, our golden
our
betterment, our golden betterment. They call it pigmentation.
Yeah.
Banking on the pig. We bank on the pig. We put our money in the pig, in the piggy bank, right?
You bank.
Yeah, man.
That's some more boss. Thank you. So, we all witnessed it last year. So what is a harbinger? A person or thing that announces or signals the approach of another. Okay? Look at the gematria of this man's name as it coincides with both of his names. His God-given name, given to him by his mother, of course. Shout out to Mama Angelique. But also the name that he adopted. So the similarity in gematria, you find it in the Chaldean gematria of his breakdown, in the number 48. But when we go to gematria or our concordance to see what does the number 48 mean biblically, or in the liturgy, or cosmically, or how does it resonate? Look at what we get. Was this not him? Majesty, greatness. His name was Nipsey Hussle the Great. By him, through him, right? All money in. He took care of everybody. He was a star. You always see him with a 5-pointed star, even though he was banging for the 6-pointed, frequency by way of the Crips, which is again Hebraic. We know what those 6-pointed stars represent. I will open up. He's opened up portals and worlds to people that they have never been exposed to. Right? Jubilee, Ram's Horn. Let's not even go there. He died during the Jubilee year, and he died in Aries. And he represented the Ram's Horn because he was the harbinger of things to come. Joy and rejoicing. What we emphasized at the time of his death was don't cry, celebrate him.
Right.
Celebrate him. We're not going to
Jubilee.
Conspiracy. Yeah. We went against the tide of torrent of conspiracy to tell people, no, we're not going to lose the opportunity to celebrate this man by being.
We told the world that.
Yeah, we told the world that. It took
his mother.
And his mama popped up.
That was her healing message.
Through a person that was directly related to us. Eleanor, she put the camera on her, and her mother told the world, look, don't cry for my son, rejoice. I seen him, and not one hair was out of place. He looked angelic in his death. He smelled, she said, sweet aromas was coming from his body.
Wow.
That's what his mama said.
Wow.
You didn't tell his mama she was bugging? She said he had a glow on his face. Hope. 44 presidents spoke at this man's funeral, representing 44 frequency. Hope also equals 44 in gematria. Strength, might, and wealth. He was a Leo, representing strength. He showed might. You know what it's like going against the gang? The gang takes the children from the parents, and you don't own the child no more. You blood in, blood out. You don't own that baby no more. They like, we got it from here. He went against that and told his children, there's another way. You don't got to do this. All riches is not his slogan. All money in, all money out. Increase, fruit. He's all about his children. He was all about the increase of his people in his neighborhood, right? Tying into Ham, which is either 608 or 48. Son of Noah. Like I said, where's he come from? Who is his people? Are they not Ethiopian, Eritrean? Because I ain't going for that Eritrean shit. Are they not the Cushites?
Ethiops.
Right? Ethiops. Coming from this Hebraic line. Abraham, Ham. It's right here. And then when we go to 604, Nipsey. 604 also equals 44, which is blood. So every time we see him, he's in red. Every time. And once again, I was with him from the ages or the years of 2007 to 2008. He always had on red. And I was like, bro, that's not breaking the code. He's like, nah, we don't color coordinate the gang shit no more as long as I got my flag. But I love red. And he had the 5-pointed star instead of the 6-pointed one. Always see him in red. You know what I'm saying? So when he made transition, they witnessed the black hole. They pictured the black hole for the very first time. The very first time that they witnessed the great black hole, according to Bobby Hennett, was May 21st, 2000, on Biggie's birthday. We'll get back to that another time. Trust me, you know. But the first time that they pictured a black hole and got a picture of it was April 8th. Okay? Few days after he made transition, the day after they put up his funerary plans on April 7th, and his picture that looks like an eclipse. That's the picture of the black hole, right? And of course, The Matrix 4 and John Wick are both coming out on that same day of May 21st, Biggie's birthday. That's a whole nother story. We'll get into that.
Wow.
Right? May 21st.
Big things popping.
Big things popping.
That's this year?
Next year.
Next year.
Huh? Lined up with 9/11, right? Because they're both 44 resonators. 9/11 was opened on 4/4/73. My whole lecture ties in Biggie to 9/11 by way of the 44. Saying it's all 44 energy. These things are not up for discussion. You dig what I'm saying? He was a Christ resonator. He was a Christos. He returned Christ. He returned Christ into the lexicon, into the pantheon of pop culture. He brought in the Jesus piece. His name was Christopher. He was born on a Sunday. He went to Roman Catholic school. He brought in the 6-pointed star of Roman Catholicism by way of materialism. Okay? That's what they did. So you got gods and you got demigods. We live in the bizarro world. Who you think is going to be the ones are not going to be the ones. And he died during a solar eclipse while the Hale-Bopp comet was passing over and the Heaven's Gate was getting ready to do their sacrifice to catch the same comet. That's when he died. Don't tell me he wasn't a Christ figure. Okay? And he died with an exalted title of King of New York. That throne can never be sat on. Look at everybody who tried. And Nipsey Hussle's, his album came out on February 16, 216, the same day the Black Panther came out. When you go into the definition of 216 is Leo, it's lion. That's who he was. So that's what the ritual represented. You know, there go his mama. You know what I'm saying? We got out there and embraced her, gave her healing, brought her the ceremony after ceremony to make sure that her healing was correct. So we wasn't just talking about it. But this set up the whole situation leading up to it. In the beginning of that year, right? The last of 2017, you had Sirius culminating, right? And Sirius was joined later on January 6th by M44 cluster, which is the Beehive cluster. So, which is in the constellation of Cancer. So Sirius or Set shows up with Big Mama. To see where her children are at right before the Jubilee and the handing of the keys. Right? Because you get the keys to your father's mansion, but the men are responsible for that. And this is what happened. And this is what happened. When Mama showed up, they threw out the surviving R. Kelly. And if Mama and them was freed in the frequencies, because no one knows where cyberspace exists, it's a medium that you access on the black mirror, which is your phone. So it is part of a carbon existence. It exists in space. So the shit that you sending up online, yeah, the ancestors is reading all of that. They getting all that frequency. So they heard men saying, fuck them bitches. They deserved it. Little hoes. I'd have peed on them too. That's what men were saying. Oh, they deserved it. What was they month? No one said, you know what? We got to defend the young women in our community because I'm meeting 9 out of 10 girls been abused. Who are these niggas? Let's make a distinction. Because we got this false precept that if you got melanin in your skin, you my brother. That can't fly. Right? And right before that, there was a rash of incidents involving young women named Jasmine. This young girl died. Right? They thought it was a white supremacist. People was ready to ride when they found out it was a brother. And his name was Black Jr. Nobody said nothing, right? What's the definition of jasmine? It's princess, it's flower. You know, the girl from McDonald's who had to fight and fend for herself while the brothers stood there and watched her and filmed. Her name was Jasmine. The girl that got raped in Atlanta nightclub called Opera while niggas filmed and put it on Facebook. Her name was Jasmine. You understand? So all of this is taking place. The universe is setting you up to see where exactly are you at in your head, black man. You know what I'm saying? Because you're about to get a transference. You know? Then Bill Cosby gets convicted. You know what I'm saying? Then the Epstein shit pops off. You know? And then the sex trafficking shit becomes a main item. When you find out about this becomes a conversation. People already knew, but no one was really, it wasn't a main item. You know, in the nigga net, which is very important because that's where the most melanin is concentrated on this planet, right? The mental and the mentality of concentrated melanin controls the nigga net. And then the victory started showing, right? Because you always got to have a flip side to it. So look at the princesses, look at the queen. Shit, we even got a chance to meet with the queen. And we did it in Parliament. You know, nobody has done that. No one has been able to penetrate Parliament. We stormed Parliament. We ain't just penetrate. We set up shop and then we held court. We devised our plans. And that alone, from the audacity and the gall to even bring such a demonstration up in there, has caused a cosmic war on many ethereal levels. Because if you see us, imagine how many of our ancestors was in there doing war with the motherfuckers you see on that wall in real time. Right? And Red, the evidence of it would be what? If you are physically a fulcrum on this planet for your spiritual ancestry, then the people around you should be the evidence, right?
Facts.
How many of them was running the fuck up out of there every time we show, like, they had to get up out of there. And when we walked through the halls and son, they was running down corridors. They was getting under tables.
Yeah, they was shook.
They was shook.
They was shook.
Yeah, that's fulfillment of prophecy. Y'all in Parliament?
Yeah, and we not just in Parliament.
We're in Parliament with kings and queens.
Parliament.
And we had a reset.
George Clinton would be proud of y'all boys.
Bro, we had a reset.
George Clinton. Parliament Funkadelic.
That's right. The spaceship landed.
Why George Clinton ain't no Parliament? You know, we was the cosmic government.
You see the table we sitting around? That's a spaceship. Okay.
The crescent.
No, it's a
table.
It's a spaceship. We took off.
And I see Infadishi and y'all was up in there.
Yeah, nah. Infadishi was the spiritual father. He was the one that opened up the way. And we have a queen from the Congo right next to him.
She's in the procession line of the Queen Kings. Like her
the reason why we were there.
From Congo.
Yeah, they recognized us.
They recognized and they bowed down.
Yes, yeah, y'all was fulfilling prophecy over there, man.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, it was magical.
Right?
It was magical.
And then it starts happening.
Right, y'all coming as black Moors, coming up in there in their House of Parliament.
In the
that you know,
when nobody's standing down, we was in full regalia.
That's right.
Don't mistake this for that, because they had niggas showing up in the suits with the this ain't that. This ain't that.
You would have thought we was doing a lecture. You'd have thought I had a table somewhere. Niggas, we was in full GI. We was in full gear. But look, damn, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I'm building this up so he could.
All right, do your thing.
But from there, I'm just showing you the things that transpired in 2019, leading up to where we're at right now, and it didn't get no press because, unfortunately, people don't put things together in this community, and that's why I honored what you did, Ross Bent, because you spoke about the 10-year window, the 10-year cycle. These are all cycles. We already won, and we don't even know. I mean, those of us who know, but ain't nobody telling it and yelling it off the mountain like Martin would have.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the reality is, if you in the race right now, because I know everyone feels the momentum right now.
Yes.
I know you can't not be alive right here, right now, and not feel the excited momentum moving from within you.
They keep showing it to you.
You know, so if you here and you on that momentum's moving through you, yeah, man, we won. That's what you feeling.
Victory lap.
You know, the victory lap.
Yeah.
And them say sometimes the force of the past propels us, but also sometimes the vacuum of the future pulls us.
Yes.
And we're at that point where the future is pulling us now.
Yes.
And it has a different feeling.
Yes.
You know, when the past pushes us, it's like the burdens and the weight of the past is a part of that.
Yes.
But when the vacuum of the future pulls you, there's a freeness with that inner, you know, that momentum.
Right.
And that's where we at right now.
Red,
You know?
I'm gonna throw you this alley-oop. You gotta dunk this one, okay? I just gotta move through this real quick. Because
man.
The Santa Claus shit, I cracked this as well doing my research. Now, Saint Nicholas arrives in Flanders in the Netherlands in November from Spain. It is widely believed that Spanish sailors brought the legend of Saint Nicholas to the Netherlands, not the other way around. Okay? So we already see, you know, from motherfucking Swarty Pete, they said that Swarty Pete is a black because he's a Moor from Spain.
Right.
So it goes to say, God damn it, if he's running with this nigga Santa Claus, and Santa Claus came from Spain, he ain't come from the Netherlands first. He came from Spain. This is all Moorish. Okay? Santa Claus is all fucking Moorish. You understand? And it's a story about alchemy. Because Santa Claus is center clause. And what is a center? It is how you break down molecules. And what is the Swarty Pete? It's the soot that comes from that alchemical process. It's the carbon black matter. This whole thing is about alchemy. You understand? Just like I told you, the whole process of the sun's trajectory of dying in Saturn and going into the box and re-arising in Leo, that's all going from lead to gold. That's all this is about. And we taught this to them. And it's the return of the Moors in the golden age, and we back. You understand? So, yeah, with the gold, got it. So Capricorn, like I said, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces represents the fourth quarter, which is the cap season. You know what I'm saying? Let it go. Look at gold. Look at gold. This is the molecular structure of gold. It's a Merkaba. Okay. Wow. This is how you go to and fro. Let's stop playing with this. Right? Like I said, dealing with the masonry, all dealing with fucking measurements of the planet, right? Length and width, 47 degrees. You know, and as this is, you know, I'm standing on this one. I'm very proud I had this materialized because early in the day, I was going through the whole 2 days leading up to this. I was giving people the knowledge of this information about what the goat represented, what Saturn represented, how that plays into the winter solstice and the sun dying. And then on the last day of Sagittarius, which is the joker, the trickster, leading into the next morning, which will be the start of Capricorn, they bring in Eddie Murphy to do the Return of the King ritual as the goat. He gets goated and knighted on stage by 3 other goats. You know what I'm saying? And they kick the other goat off the fucking, off the hill, off the mountain.
Billy
goat.
Billy goat.
The Billy goat.
Billy goat off. You know what I'm saying? And they inserted the king, the return of the king. And the next day, the motherfucking solar eclipse happens, right? Which signals the return of the king celestially. These are all archetypical plays and programs. And where do people keep telling me, oh, he was throwing Masonic hand signals on? I bet he was.
Right.
I bet he was. So SNL, even the etymology, the numerics of the day equal 45. SNL Gematria equals 45. It was the 45th season of the fucking show. Last episode. Right? And then Eddie Murphy's his Gematria, you see the 11s and the 7s. Cap is all 11s. Capricorns is all 7s. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, I got charts on these. Like, let's not even do it. You know? And he represents Aries. Eddie Murphy's an Aries born on April 3rd. You know what I'm saying? Bill Cosby, Tracy Morgan. This is a trickster. Eshu, representing in that red and black as you seen them.
Right.
All black, Saturn. Feel me? Then I get into this whole tesseract, this cube, this hypercube, so we can take people out of this box that they're locked in with their perception of what these people are referencing when they speak about the Christ. This is a numeric, geometric understanding that you have to grasp, so you cannot get like lost in the physicality of it. Not knowing what you're looking for. But one of the most prophetic things that took place is that Wayne Chandler dropped this article. He dropped this thing on Facebook that day. I think it was like the day before Christmas. I'm gonna read it, and then we're gonna get into, the follow-up, because this sets the stage for it. Prophetic words from Wayne Chandler about the celestial events taking place now. Like I said, welcome to the golden age. The Photon belt, humanity's doorway to highest consciousness. While everyone was celebrating the coming winter solstice, another celestial event of profound significance was occurring. Humanity's long-awaited entrance into the Photon belt. Nature of this event is something all of the old heads and OGs from back in the day will acknowledge and understand, because we have been waiting on this literally for decades. Family, you are alive to see prophecy, and you don't seem excited enough.
Right.
He said, I first wrote on the Photon belt in my book, Ancient Future. That was 20 years ago. Again.
Wow.
And in all honesty, I had to go back and reread what the heck I wrote about it. For those of you who have my book, you can go to page 199, the last paragraph, and follow it over into page 200 and 201. It is a profound undertaking that humanity, is about to embark on. So what exactly is the Photon belt? Firstly, it is all centered and based on what we call the Great Year. Also explained in Ancient Future, it is a grand cycle of 26,920 years that our planet navigates. Well, here you go. For every 144 out of every 26,920 years, we experience the birthing of a new galactic year, which is the full cycle of our solar system around Alcyon, what many prefer to as the central sun of our galaxy and the constellation of Pleiades. As for 72 of these 144 years, the solstice sun rises on what is known as the galactic cross, allowing us to access frequency keys and codes more potent than at any other time in this 26,920 year cycle. Our ancestors used the knowledge of this cycle to achieve outstanding accomplishments via the expansion of consciousness. What I want you to realize is that right now in December 2019, we are in such a time, the sun is rising on the galactic cross, making a tune. Man, listen. Making a tune into this December solstice very important. Therefore, the importance of this moment is even further magnified by the combining of many cycles, one of which is that we have also entered the high energy photon belt created by the toroidal energy field that encircles the central sun, Alcyon. The Earth enters this high frequency photon belt for 2,000 years. This period is spoken of in the book of Revelation when it says, I saw an angel coming down from heaven, holding in his hand the key to the bottomless pit. And he seized Satan and bound him for over 1,000 years and threw him into that pit and shut it and sealed it over him so that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years were ended. After that, he must be loose for a little while. The cycle runs concurrent in and with the Kali Yuga of India and the Uga Asa of the Igbo of Africa. I cannot go into full detail here on all of the attributes of the cosmic event, but I will quote one paragraph from my book, Ancient Future, regarding it. When electromagnetic energy is exposed to photonic light-based energy, which is the carrier of electromagnetism, the terrestrial field of electromagnetism is vastly altered. Thus, as the Earth passes through the photon belt, its electromagnetic field could be significantly amplified, which in turn would generate an extreme increase in frequency of our own biophysic, electro-vibrational, biochemical, neurotransmitting peptides that increase levels of awareness and extrasensory abilities. We are potentially speaking of a simultaneously transformation of consciousness on a global scale. Wayne B. Chandler. Return of the golden motherfucking age.
Man.
It's nothing about, look. And, you know, I'm plugging products, but the whole aspect of the sun, because I just found this, I was on Wall Street doing commercials for the lion's mane product that I have the day of the solstice, not really realizing that that's the whole ritual. The sun loses its lion's mane and it goes into the grave, only to start its trajectory back to Leo, where it gains the fullness and the strength of its lion mane on some Samson shit. You know? So yeah, I'm probably for the most part, you know, leave it there.
Well, you done?
Yeah.
I gotta get up on the technology, man. Y'all got me inspired. What's StreamYard? All right, man.
Yeah,
see y'all.
StreamYard. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a in about a week. I'm gonna have a sound system. You know how they be having that air horns and all of that.
Right. You're gonna be
I
ready.
got my people at Stone Love looking out. We're gonna get hooked up.
Y'all gonna come like your boy Black Dot.
Like
man.
But yeah, I did all of that fancy shit just to line it up to be like, can you take it from there and lay the rest of these conjunctions out?
Yeah.
You know, for ye people with little faith. God damn it, bro.
So now I like how Wayne Chandler tied this time in with the great year.
Yes.
Because I do feel like this is a significant junction within the great year, within the 26,000 year cycle. And my anchor point with that is the Mayan Olmec calendar. You know, that when you study what them call the Soul King, the count of days, the Mayan count of days.
Yes.
It seems like what them called was going to be that 2012 thing, the end of the Mayan count of days in 2012.
Yes.
I think with the way these great conjunctions is lining up, I really think 2020 is the culmination of, 2020 in the Gregorian calendar is 2012 in the Ethiopian calendar.
That's a fact.
September 11th of this year is Mescadim 1 in the Ethiopian calendar.
Yes.
And yeah, I think, and it's Mescadim 1 2012. I think the Ethiopian 2012, this is the year that Soul King type action we can expect to see. And why? Because of the astronomical alignments that is occurring, where, right, you got Pluto, which, is connected with a 400-year cycle, Pluto and Neptune. Mm-hmm. Pluto's got a lot of conjunctions jumping off this year. Right. As well as this is a year that what we would call a year of the great conjunctions with Saturn and Jupiter coming together, Right. And the Soul King as a whole is 1/5 of the great year, right? It's that 5,125 year cycle. If you multiply it by 5, you get that 26,000 year cycle, you know? So I think this is the year where we're going to see events that are aligned with what them would call the 2012, which is ultimately that big shift in consciousness, what the brother Wayne was dropping, that, you know, we were going to enter a place in space-time that was just going to have people on a different frequency of thought, in tune with a different way of thinking. And we see it, you know? And another thing with 2020 that's very interesting is that the year started with no squares or oppositions in the chart, you know?
Yes.
And usually there are squares and oppositions in the chart of a year, you know? And squares meaning that, you know what? The lessons the omniverse got to show you this year, there's going to be some resistance to your momentum. Oppositions say, you know what? The lessons you got to learn this year, there might even be a counter force to your momentum.
Right.
You know? There ain't none of that this year. No squares, no oppositions. And that's right. When I was talking about that momentum we feel inside, it's like there's no resistance. The omniverse is like, yeah, flow with it. And this is the type of alignment you would expect to see at the end of like a 5,000 plus year cycle, you know? This like a magic moment like this. Yes, sir.
Indeed. All right, what Ross Ben is saying is the Nike store, you have the keys to the Nike store overnight and nobody's there.
Mm.
And the new Jordans just came out. That's what he's saying. Did the Nike stores open and you got the shopping cart? Remember Toys R Us when you used to have the 10 minutes to go shopping? The shopping spree.
And you know another way we can look at it, real talk, we got the monkey's paw in our hand. Okay, because it's a dual-edged sword. Our thoughts right now, ultra magnetic. The omniverse right now, ultra responsive. So we have to be very disciplined with our thoughts and very productive with our emotions if we want to create the reality that we're thankful for and is in aligned with our intention.
Right.
You know?
Speaking about that.
Because if you aren't choosing to be responsible for every thought and then what you say, like discipline, control of your emotions, and you're going to let whatever random energy move through you, the way the omniverse is right now, you're going to like, you know, you're going to catch an immediate judgment. You're going to have immediate regret.
Bro, I can speak to that specifically. I mean, I've seen it already this year in my own life. Immediately.
Yeah, this is real. This is real. We got to be magi's in this time. We do have to, like, self-mastery, self-discipline is very important, right? And so for the vision you painted, Red, right? We up in the Nike store. No one's around. How are we going to behave? How are we going to act? Are you going to nut out? You going to wild out? You know? Are you going to create a reality that when you, like, you know, leave out and retrospect and got to deal with the consequences, like, damn, not wise, you know? So we have, you know, this thing is real. Like back in the day, it's interesting how you brought up Wayne Chandler, because this is all tied in with what we call the quickening too. Absolutely. You know, the quickening is a part of this, right? Where, and I know everyone is experiencing this, where right now our thoughts, our feelings, ultramagnetic, Omniverse, ultra responsive. You think something, it's manifesting. You think of someone, they linking you, you know? And so
That's fact.
before that, though, right, what we would call omniversal lag time, omniversal delay, that was actually, you know, that was some protection. That was protection. That was grace. Because if the omniverse responded to every random thought and every toxic emotion we was allowing the man run through us, we would, you know, we would quickly create a life we don't want, right?
Right.
So the omniversal lag time was a moment to like, yo, heal up, get your perspective on a proper angle, you know, heal up your heart. So you got get all that trauma. You can't be acting out of trauma and anger and vexation. You got to have gratitude and love moving through you, right? That's what that lag time was. If we didn't get it, now that the omniverse is on, if you still on that trauma cycle, you know, acting out of pain and wanting others to feel your pain, right? You on some like what's your angle, brother? You know how there's a lot of cats you got like, yo, what's your angle? What are you dealing with?
Yeah, like
you know, one's moving like that. Yeah. Yo, the Omniverse got something for you in 2020. You know? So, and yeah, man. So it's exciting, but it's a time to be very disciplined, accountable for every thought. And as much as possible, we got to stay in that zone of productive emotions, gratitude, love, and compassion, empathy and sympathy for our brethren and sistren, wanting for the collective what we want for ourselves, and moving with that intention. If we move like that, the reality we're going to create, we'll all be thankful for, you know?
Facts.
If you're not moving like that, you're going to face some harsh judgments, you know? So.
Can you lay out what are the rest of the dates of these conjunctions?
Other conjunctions, yeah.
What they
because that's excuse me. This is timely because we had the Saturn-Pluto conjunction just passed. Like I said, globally, we see this resource reset. Personally, we might be having resource resets, you know? But Jupiter's coming in April 5th, the day after 4/4. Yo, that's the cornucopia. That's the cornucopia of heaven. That's the, like you say, that's that. You're right, brethren. We are in the Nike store, about to reap some amazing blessings. Like the heavens is open for real when Jupiter and Pluto hit, and that's coming April 5th. So some type of big blessing, big opportunity. Expect it, you know? Then June 21st. Yo.
No, I just wanted to tell Blue that the 5th, the 4th and 5th. So I'm sensing a retreat or something that we can all collectively be a part of. Like I said, look at this technology that we have right now in our hands. You know,
wait, bro. I got a retreat March 19th to the 23rd. So
Okay.
I don't know if it'll be right, but I did just get an invite to Ghana. They are having the Kinging ceremony at the same time, but they said that they're going to be having it up to April 4th. So I'm like, I might want to be in Ghana.
Yeah.
I need to tap into, like I said, the fulfillment of this particular prophecy is the energy has shifted back to where, you know, they said that it emanated from.
Where it started from. Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
and even that is fulfillment of prophecy within Rasta. Because you know His Majesty.
Yes.
His Majesty said Ghana was the gateway to Africa.
That's facts.
You know, when His Majesty, the first planned city in Ghana is Timma. And Kwame Nkrumah, when they inaugurated the port of Timma, they asked His Majesty to come and be a part of that inauguration. And that's when he dubbed Ghana the gateway to Africa, meaning, and he meant it in the context that when we return, because we know we all Ethiopian, and Ethiopia is the ultimate motherland, but we got to return the way we came.
Yes. And then land has been allocated for you in Ethiopia as well already. So, you know, we have to play this global game of moves and shifts in politics.
That's right.
We deem it necessary. Your empire is awaiting you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And this is not even saying, yo, abandon the Americas. I'm saying
no.
Have a footprint everywhere.
It's both and.
Yeah.
It's both and.
Yeah.
It's both
Become a
and.
dual
We got to think. 2020 ain't either or.
That's
You can't think either or. 2020.
Not binary.
It's both and. It ain't binary. It's quantum.
It's quantum. Right.
Please get into that. The difference between binary and quantum and what 2020 represents, because people are going to be looking for one reality. They're only going to be looking for good things. They're only going to be looking for no obstacles. So explaining them what this quantum reality is.
Yeah, it's both and. We got another way of terming the omniverse is multiverse. You know, like you got your universe. You're in your own universe within the omniverse, right? But when my universe and Blue's universe comes together, that intersecting point is a multiverse. And within that realm, there's going to be multiple truths. It's going to be a truth coming from my angle that can't be denied. And there's going to be a truth coming from Blue's angle that can't be denied, right? And so if we want full integration in that multiverse, that shared realm we created, we got to have a both and perspective. We got to, that truth RAS is coming with, it's real. But you know what? And what Blue's coming with, it's real, right? That's that quantum reality. That's how we can build quantumly, both and.
Right.
You know? So that's how you build quantumly.
And with this being
both and, not either or.
With this being a 44 year, right? Because take the zeros out, it's a 22 year, then it's a 4. So what I like to explain to people about 44 is a trinary number, right? Because 0 and 1 is binary. The numbers left after that, from 2 to 9, if you add them up, you get 44. So just like 9/11, if you flip 9/11 into numbers, it adds up to 44. It's 2 plus 3, 3 plus 4, going like that, all the way up. You get 44. So 44 is trinary. 44 is also what's called a Fibonacci number. It's not Fibonacci, it's Fibonacci. It's trinary and Fibonacci. So it's quantum because it represents the tesseract, and the tesseract is us at the most subatomic level. Sylvester Gates, the master of supersymmetry, said that he found particles that mimic tesseracts, right? They're cubes within cubes because you're in this dimension and another dimension simultaneously by way of your electrons. Anyway.
True.
And he said that when they researched and studied subatomic particles, they found that we have the same codes that computer codes have. So because we have the ability to make decisions, you have to have coding for the yes or the no. Universe don't know which way you're going to go. The decision is on you, but you still got to have the metadata to be able to do either or.
And the quantum reality says,
right,
there exists at the same time one of you that did that said yes,
and the other,
and one of you that said no.
Right, you have both trajectories.
It's both and they both exist as potential. What is it you're going to manifest? You know? Yeah, man. And your timeline is a stream of part of your stream of consciousness in your story. You know, your quantum reality, which is our story that we tell ourselves, you know?
Facts.
But not to get, I don't want to get too spun out off these conjunctions.
Yes, please.
So we got the Jupiter-Pluto coming April 4th, April 5th. Look for some blessings. Look for the cornucopia. Look for the opportunities to manifest out of whatever resource resets we might be experiencing right now, right? And I would also say the opportunities beyond on a personal level may express themselves globally, where a lot of the crisis and drama we're witnessing globally, some type of miraculous resolutions and interventions we might witness in April, right? Then come June 21st, when summer solstice. It's going to be a solar eclipse, which means the sun and the moon will be in hard conjunction at the 0 degrees Cancer point, right?
Like I said,
at that time,
that is when the Christ. That's the Christ risen, because you got a solar eclipse the day after Christ Mass on the 26th. The minute it come out the box, and then when it reaches its most shit that I've been talking about, when it reaches its most exalted station,
right?
You know what I'm saying? At the solstice, it's gonna have another eclipse.
Another eclipse, yes.
Yeah, that's
and during that conjunction, during that solar eclipse, Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn are going to be in loose conjunction with one another.
Whew.
The tightest that conjunction will be comes November 13th. November 13th, you got Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn all coming together. That is, man, this is big. This is a big, this is a, I think the last time these planets came together in Capricorn, if I read it correctly, was like 1600 years or something.
Yeah.
Okay. This the last time Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter came together in Capricorn, it's been over 1,000 years. I want to say it's 1,600 years. Okay. So this is a big thing.
I just want to say this, that would be the last day of me and this man's ceremoniously 44 cycles around the sun. So the day before we turn 45, to culminate
on the degree of 44.
Yeah, that's gonna culminate in the cosmos. Ill run, one of the illest runs in Heru twin history. Because you know we've been doing as many cycles. You know, We was all in Mexico, you know, in other lifetimes doing it with our Aztec brothers. But that's gonna be the cosmos coming together on the day before our 45th. Celebrate not just this year, but the whole run.
Yeah.
So it's on us though to prepare. Remember, you know, the universe is conspiring. They're gonna set the table. Are you gonna sit there with your gold? Are you gonna bring gold forks to the goddamn meal? Are you gonna set up a ceremony to whereas when you sit at that table, y'all are all celebrating and eating the Brooklyn way? You know, break bread the Brooklyn way, like Biggie taught us. You know, so now we're responsible to throw the biggest gala that the community has seen. Because we didn't do it to bring in our 44th, but why do a celebration to bring in that year? Why not do the celebration to close out that magical year? Because you don't know what the year is going to bring. But on the end of the 44th, that's when you pop bottles. That's when you celebrate. That's when you feed the gods and whatnot.
Yeah, we having
well, I'm gonna tell you, whatever's happening in November, whatever is jumping off, it's gonna be extreme and intense. It is gonna be a culmination of
that's the election.
Of like, you know, many cycles, the fulfillment of many cycles all happening, all coming to close at the same time. You know, November, we going like if we thought like, whoa,
and it's at
right, this Pluto Saturn showed us something, right? November, yo, I think
you said and it's at 22 degrees Capricorn in November as well.
Yes.
Well, it's at 22 degrees Capricorn. It just passed on the 12th, so we got two 22-degree Capricorn conjunctions.
Yeah, man. So I'm telling you, what we see in November is going to make us like chuckle at what we witnessed in January. It's going to be that deep. And I think if you say like, well, what is going to be the one thing people are going to say in November? Damn, that shit blew my mind. I think that's what people are going to say. My mind has been blown. I've been blown away.
I mean, that's right after the elections, right?
Yeah.
A week after the election.
Yes.
So either niggas will be like, damn, Bernie pulled it out. Or Trump's second term, he went full Mao Zedong on you niggas.
Right.
But what's going on December 21st to close out the year though?
December 21st, which again, this overtone of the 2012 thing. Right? So December 20, because they said the 2012 calendar was supposed to end December 21st, 2012, right? Astrologically, wasn't nothing jumping off December 21st, 2012. But December 21st, 2020 is what they call the Great Conjunction. That is Saturn and Jupiter.
Yeah.
Hard conjunct. And that's going to occur 0 degrees Aquarius. So, and that's December 21st. So,
and that represents
usually the great conjunctions give the flavor for the next score. You know, like for example, the last great conjunction was in Taurus, May 5th, 2000. Just on a personal level, that's when Rocks of Ages was published.
Legend.
May 5th, 2000, right? In an fixed earth sign, right? So the beginning of this score, it was me and about 8 other niggas dealing with crystals. You know,
I know
crystals wasn't a big thing, right? Look at the end of this score.
Yeah.
When I go vending now, if there's 12 vendors, 10 of them got crystals. I need to fall back, right? Everybody rapping now. Everybody a wire rapper now. Everybody you know?
Everybody a rapper.
That's the end. That's the end of this score. See how these 20, and this was a 20-year cycle in an Earth sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
This next Saturn Jupiter conjunction is going to be an Aquarius air sign, you know? So I think it's going to really initiate the Aquarian frequency
Yes.
for these 20 years. Now I know as far as the precession of the equinox, we moving into the age of Aquarius, right? But when you study where the equinox sunrise is, right? It's not going to rise in Pisces for about another 280 years. So technically we about 200 years in the Piscean age. But when you talk about a 26,000 year cycle, it ain't, when we look at the sunrise, it ain't like it's dark and then it's automatic light. You had a dawning where the rays of the sun, even though the sun hasn't pierced the horizon, the rays of the sun influence the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we are, like that song from the Fifth Dimension. It is real. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, right? We're in the dawning of it. Things that kind of accelerated the dawning. We did have Neptune and Uranus pass through Aquarius in the early 2000s. You know how Neptune's in Pisces right now. Before, Neptune was in Pisces for like much of the 90s and the early 2000s. Neptune was in Aquarius, and that gave us a lot of Aquarian cultural values and cultural norms in this dawning, right? Uranus, same way, because Uranus rules Aquarius, you know? So now with this Saturn-Jupiter conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius, December 21st, it's going to kick in this Aquarian, emphasis in how we're living, still within this dawning of Aquarius, you know? So it's going to feel, these 20 years, it's going to feel like the dawning of Aquarius is being accelerated. You know, we moving into the Aquarian age, like we getting there faster, even though we still got about a couple hundred years still in this Pisces cycle, you know? So that's the December 21st.
Yeah.
And you know, like how a lot of people got a fear factor with Pluto, fear factor with Scorpio. People think Aquarius is all good. They think Aquarius is all gravy, you know? But there is a shadow side to Aquarius. And bondage through this technology is one of it. That's an Aquarian shadow.
Yeah.
All right. But also just impersonal controls of society. You know, society not telling you nothing, but you just being blindly obedient to something that ain't good for you. You know, that is the shadow of Aquarius. And we all know, like, for real, cell phones are not good for us. Right? We know that. They give us cancer, mess up our frequency. They getting the minerals out of the Congo, exploitative. They jamming up the brethren in China, slave labor style, making them. It's self-reporting, like, does Babylon got a spy on us? No, we keep a camera and a microphone with us, so they can track our every move. So we know these things ain't good on a lot of levels, but everyone got one.
Yeah.
That's the shadow of Aquarius. When just the flow of society has you, the impersonal controls. Ain't nobody say, Red, go get a cell.
Yeah.
No one said, Ross, get a cell. And I know all these things about them, but I still choose to have one.
Facts.
That's the shadow of Aquarius. And we all are going to have to wrestle with that for real these next 20 years.
Let me ask you something, because I often speak about being on offense versus being on defense and how that's advantageous to anyone that's playing the game. One of the great things about being a forecaster such as yourself and an dealing with astrologics is we get to get ahead of the eight ball. We could prepare ourselves the same way that the teams that are about to play the NFL playoffs this weekend.
Yeah.
They're looking over film of previous games of their opponents. They're studying their playbooks. They're practicing their offense, right? And they're also practicing their defense. But they're looking at the stats. They're looking at the data. They're crunching the data in order to come to those conclusions. And what we're doing tonight is we're crunching the data in order to come to conclusions. So there's going to be individuals in the audience, or the collective for that matter, who could say that, you know what, we in January, so Ross just told me in April is going down, and he told me that it's going down in December. So now I have months to prepare myself, so we could either be on defense or offense, or even both, versus just being on defense, because some of us wake up late. And we wake up after the play already happened.
That's right.
So when you're not ahead of what's going on, you're going to be reactionary when you haven't been prepped and prepared. So what is the advice that you would give to both the individual amongst us and the collective amongst us that would the offense, to put us on offense, to power up?
Yeah, I feel like the key word, the power affirmation for 2020, alignment over everything. Alignment over everything. Meaning, we know we're aligned when we're in joy. If I'm having fun, I got a joyous frequency, I know I'm aligned. That is the purpose of joy in our life. Okay? Be joyful. Stay in alignment. Because if you're in a joyful state, all right, that means you got productive motions. You have some mix of gratitude, love, compassion. You got some mix of that resonating in your heart. So right now, you ultramagnetic. So you're going to be able to attract whatever you need, whatever resources, whatever relationships you need. You got the magnetism to bring it to you. We also gotta, our perspective. Our perspective has to stay aligned, and that is what our emotions are the barometer for. So if you start looking at something, a certain, you watching Trump and it's taking you off that joy frequency, either shift how you looking at Trump or turn Trump off, because it's alignment over everything right now. And if you can't focus on Trump and stay in that joy frequency, turn them off. Because now they got you. Because you out of your frequency, you out of alignment. You demagnetized right now. You can't pull what you need. You know? You can't manifest what you want because you on some other frequency.
Facts.
So alignment over everything. Certain people, if you around, like, look, I'm paying close attention to who takes me off my joy frequency. If I'm around you 20 minutes and now I'm not in my joy state, I gotta meditate on that. I'm not taking that for granted like I used to. You know, like I'm now I'm home reflecting, like, what healing can I offer this person? So next time I'm around them, we'll be both in a joy frequency. And are they in a position to receive that? And if they not, like, if they can't receive that healing, I don't know how much time I'm going to be with them in 2020. Why? Alignment over everything. You know? So control of emotions as much as possible. Stay in that productive emotional state, that magnetic emotional state. And as far as your mind, wanting for the collective what you want for yourself are the most magnetic thoughts. They're the most aligned thoughts. Okay? And yeah, I think these is like the best ways to prepare ourselves to be able to make the most of this 2020 energy. Stockpiling cans of chickpeas, that ain't going to do it, because the fear embedded in those acts, what's that going to create? And that doesn't mean don't be prepared on all levels.
Right.
But understand what I mean. And when I say, like, when you're on that survivalist tip, if you're on that survivalist tip, all I would say is check your emotional state and what emotions are driving it. And if it's fear, you're going to create the reality that you are scared of. And you're putting all that ashe into it. You're going to create the reality you're scared of. So you're on the right road, but the wrong direction. So be prepared, but check the deeper intentions and the deeper motives driving your emotions and your actions.
Yeah, I would say
these are the key. I'm going to seal it up by just saying these are the key things we got to do within ourselves to maximize this 2020 energy.
I would say listen to Akon playlist and watch Black Panther 2, Wakanda type of things, and meditate on that future, because like Blue Pill said, there's nothing more powerful than a man with a vision. He helped clarify, he helped simplify, common sense for me a month ago, when he was talking about what a leader heard people, especially during this 2020 election cycle, where our people had the audacity to try to pick these unqualified candidates to be their new leaders, and none of them, not near one of them, from Kamala Harris, none of them had a plan. And they got upset when you even asked them about an agenda that was an agenda that did not involve them code switching and sitting at the table eating the crumbs from whatever somebody does. They were appalled. Like, how dare you try to mess up this run for the Birkin bag that I'm trying to do? You know what I mean? I'm trying to get next to Zaddy and them. And
Right.
Blue said, a leader has a vision. You got to start with a vision. You know,
Yeah.
and a vision, unfortunately, is not the majority of what this community and the leaders and the teachers who were self-anointed, self-appointed, and some of them got tagged by master teachers to run with the baton. You know, 90% of them, I would say 95, there was a true 5% nation running through this thing in the past few years. And that's the 5% that was staying on point. The 85ers of the conscious community, they did not fulfill their vision. They didn't even come with a plan, to be honest with you. And then they have people who were putting plans out there that took 80 years to goddamn come to any kind of fruition. So what Akon is saying, give me 10 years. He ceremoniously, and I'm sure that he's on point with what he did and why he did it on January 12th. He ritualistically said, because the alignment in the 12th was about for the next 10 something, it was for the next cycle. So he put himself in the future by saying, look, in 10 years, we're going to be not giving people a false sense of complete, we're going to do it soon. He gave them a timeline. And he now can have a conversation with anybody on this planet about his next 100 years, and they'll take him serious because he has a vision. And that's people to come together to complete a vision, not individual grand aggrandizement, not being the king of YouTube, not being the king of this group, not being the big kahuna, big fish tuna, and all of these self-appointed, self-anointed names that somebody came up with on, Webster dictionary.com. They went to the thesaurus. What's the thesaurus to great? Oh, illustrious. Well, I'm the illustrious, abundant leader guy of the Shea Butter Nation. Hope no tep, and that ain't it. We need visions, and we need people who are going to collectively feed that vision and not do everything in their power to tear that vision down, because that's where we went bad. So Akon could qualify as a leader, Mr. Locked Up, Mr. Mr. Africa. He could step in the room with leaders of the world because of the move that he made. Not just the fact that he said that he's building a city, it's because of the vision that's going behind it.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. So, my power affirmation from Free Your Mound. The Magi.
That's facts.
Magnetizes and magnifies the magnificence of his or her imagination. And that imagination, that is our vision, our divinely inspired vision. And I'm so thankful y'all brought that up, because that is real talk. If you don't have a vision in 2020, divinely inspired, that you magnetize, and then it's you're a little late in the game. You should have a vision right now. If you don't have a vision, yes, you say go back to basics and get your vision. And your vision should have something tied into what we would call your harbor place. And that don't mean where you park your boat. But we know, this is critical times. And Blue, you in ATL, Red, you up in New York?
Facts.
Right, I'm here in Philly. I don't, I know I'm secure wherever I go and wherever I am. But the reality is, I know it's not wise to plan to stay in Philly forever. You know what I'm gonna say?
That's facts.
So whether I'm gonna follow that momentum, bringing ones forward to Ghana, right? help fulfill that prophecy of His Majesty and go through the gateway to Africa and set up my home there and fulfill that prophecy, or somewhere else, an Edenic paradise somewhere here in the Americas that can't nobody see because of the dense canopy of trees, right? I'm manifesting my vision to give me safe harbor, you know?
Facts.
And everyone should have a vision like that and be working toward it.
Enthusiastically,
making the relationships and keeping good relations that would afford that to make, magnetize that thing into reality, and yeah, that's very important. That's a part of the joy, because if you don't have that vision and you don't see it manifesting in your life, and all you got in front of you is the mundane fuckery of an urban Babylon in front of your face, yeah, you're going to have a lot of despair and different unproductive emotions you got to clean out every day to get yourself in a joyful state. Because, yeah, when I move through Babylon, the things I see, it's hard not to feel despair. You know what I'm saying? When you're in this concrete reality. And so we have to have a vision for a way out. And it's not just ourselves. We have to think for our family, bloodline, community, collective. And if we are ultramagnetic, we could think on the scale of our nation.
That's fact.
So the vision is important. Thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, don't even mention it, my brother. I would say this for the rappers who had the pleasure of visiting the continent during the Jubilee year. Maybe not all of them, but I suspect that a majority of them are going to reflect that in their poetry. And if they choose to do such, they are going to reap the benefits of terraforming and creating a new reality based off of the fact that as privileged citizens of America, that's what a rapper is. A rapper is a privileged, protected class. They get police escorts. Don't let them fool you.
Right.
They're a protected class. They get to sit in, they commandeer, they charter planes for them.
You're right.
They charter planes for them.
They roll baller status.
Huh?
They roll baller status.
They roll baller stat. They're a protected class. They're an elite class in America. They went somewhere where the cost of living, right, is lower than the places that they would consider the slums where they come from, right? But what they didn't encounter was the mentality of where they come from, where everyone is zombied out and is basically a killing field, and the frequency is so low that they can't even get high in certain areas because the energy, the frequency it will attack them. It's so low. You know what I mean? They might manifest a Freddy Krueger into their reality in the bluff if they smoking on some stuff around these goddamn, around all of the savages. So for the rapper who decides after he or she witnessed the continent, if they still decide to rap from a perspective where they're saying, I'm just a product of my environment, I only rap about what I see, then those MCs are going to fall on their swords, similar to the other MCs of the last decade, who Brother Kim pointed out last night on Tough Talk Tuesday. Those rappers who were hardcore rappers, who was only talking about the gunplay and moving, find a quiet town and tie it down and all of this. They spoke their realities into existence. A lot of them have kidney problems,
Right.
liver issues. Some of them are broke as if they never touched a dollar in their life. They went back to Dusty. You know, they went from Ashy to Classy to Tarjay to you know, to Dollar Store.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they don't got no shit in their DNA. You know what I mean?
For that frequency,
Huh?
they didn't get rewarded eternally.
Rewarded.
It cannibalized them.
They got cannibalized by their own energies, right?
Yeah, we see the power of the spoken word.
That's right. And
unproductive emotions and what they magnetize.
So the ones who made the jump had to do what? They had to shed their skin. They had to atone, right?
Kill themselves. Sacrificially kill their old selves off.
They had to sacrificially kill their old selves off, and they had to publicly atone for what they felt was whatever weight that they were carrying. Some of them dealt with it through mama daddy issues. Some of them dealt with it like Juicy J with the tweet, yo, if I ever inspired you to do drugs, I'm sorry. Some of them inspired it on these podcasts where they were like on Drink Champs and other things where they were atoning for the harm that they caused.
Yes.
And those are the ones. A lot of them lost they lost weight. The shedding of skin was the fat ones slimmed up. They got new teeth, niggas got veneers and whatnot, and they start drinking the sweet tea, tummy tea, and all of that. You know, whatever they was doing, they were lightening their load.
Yo, redemption is a serious thing. To be redeemed is in so much pain, you know. And we're gonna see a whole lot of people manifesting redemptive acts in this upcoming season, you know.
Facts.
I didn't mean to chop your sound, Star.
Not at all. You adding not at all. So I'm you know, the redemption factor. We've said it, and I'm sharing this with brothers and sisters who are gonna hear this program, you know, because they are influenced by the rappers, you know, they're influenced by, you know, what it is that they do, more so what it is that they say. But when it comes to the transformation aspect, or when it comes for time for the artist to mature, you know, they don't bring all of their followers with them or their fans. Everyone is not having that conversation about, well, if you vicariously living through, you know, these artists because of what they were representing when they first came out, you got to be in it for the whole ride. So when Beyonce goes vegan, Ma, you going vegan with her.
Right.
Talking about when Beyonce goes African spiritual and she throws in the box braids, well, you got to take that ride as well if you want the full Beyonce experience. You know what I mean? If you want your baby to be smiling like Blue Ivy, you're gonna have to do what she does. Oh, Beyonce got married? Well, it's time to get married.
Yes.
Oh, Jay-Z's a billionaire. Every young rapper wants to be a billionaire. Nobody, the millions is poor. They like, Billy, I'm a GOAT. I'm going for the Billy. Like, there's somebody who I know got it. And he's talking about reform. Now you got some of the toughest rappers like, yo, we just need to help reform the people. Like, it's cool to say prison reform now. It's cool to say financial literacy. It's cool to say our people need mental health help. That was not cool 5 years ago.
No, very not cool.
No, it was not cool. It was not. Nobody was taking their Instagram time. Nobody was taking their 5 minutes of fame to deal with anything dealing with what was not considered to be savagery. Okay.
Right. Yo, I had a real deep moment last about 2 weeks ago, 2 strongs ago. Cause you know, I had a pyramid in my house for decades.
Yeah.
My children growing up, you know how your youth are, man. They don't be really valuing what. Well, y'all are different. I see y'all value what your mama shared you, but
now, I know what
my youth, you know, because my youth was eating vegetarian when it wasn't cool to be a vegetarian. So they felt like we was depriving them, and
That's
it set up all these different we say emotional wants and needs that they felt they wasn't getting at certain times and this and that, right? So then things we had in the house, they took them on different levels, this pyramid being one of them, right? Why my daughter called me 2 strongs ago. Baba, yo, sent me a video clip of Kim Kardashian up in a pyramid.
You seen that? She was in a copper pyramid, bro.
Right. So I'm saying that to say it took Kim Kardashian for my daughter to validate
for you to get
what
for you to get the
the liberty she had from a youth, from 6 and 7. It took Kim Kardashian for her to see a value and a worth in it. Like, oh, you weren't just tripping,
But
so
this is something that all great teachers, right, throughout time immemorial had to go through. What did they say about the prophet at home? Right. So
a man will never be a prophet in his home. That's
household that they're talking about. Not
real talk.
Not your block and whatnot. It extends to your block in your city, but it starts in the household. Lil Ray and them is gonna be like, nigga, please save the ashes. Like,
that's real talk.
Real
talk.
Hold up.
Real old stuff. Trying to turn up.
Yeah, Jesus, roll up.
But they like, yeah, Jesus, roll up. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, what I know, because I say it all of the time. I was that child. You know what I mean? Let's keep it 1,000. I rebelled against. Me and my brother was set up. We could have been gurus at 10 if we wanted to. We would have been in, you know what I mean? We could have been barefoot in linen at 14, teaching. If that's what we really wanted to do, we would have had long locks. We probably would have been joined by the hip.
We
were Siamese, man.
Right.
I grew mine out. Yeah, when I was living in St. Croix, I grew mine out. I used to climb trees for coconuts and all of that. You know what I'm saying? I was on it. We was on our way.
Y'all could value it at that time,
Nah, I couldn't value it.
Oh, you said you couldn't value it.
Niggas had mad barefoot. Nah, we couldn't value it.
Right.
Because
it took a retrospect.
You know what I'm saying?
I got back to I visited my father back in the States, and he took me to McDonald's, and I just a Big Mac and a milkshake and fries. And then he hit us to Ralph Lauren.
Yeah, she was like Anakin. It was like the rise of Anakin, my nigga. It was like the rise of Anakin. We was like, so all kind of dairy products. Brought us to the dark side, bro. He took us to Bloomingdale's.
But you know what? Yo, when you study the Amish, right? Amish, when their youth get about 16, 17, right? They let them just go experience Babylon for a year.
For a year?
Yeah, a year. Well, it might be longer, but a period of time. They let them youth go and experience Babylon. Say, just go and do it, because the reality is, you can't tell no one Babylon ain't good for you. He who feels it knows it. You gotta know what that Big Mac does inside of you. There are rare youth, just because of their soul, their spirit, they ashe. You could tell them, like, yo, Babylon ain't good.
Yeah,
they gonna know it and just come up like that. But most youth, yeah, man, they gotta go. And I went through it. We all gotta go through it, because that's even part of being able to relate
absolutely
to others who are there.
Well,
if you don't, if you don't, if like I say, he who feels it knows it, If you can't feel it, you can't know it. If you can't know it,
they ain't felt it. Yeah.
yeah, what can you do? You know, so
I'm in total agreement. Like, it's called a hero's journey. And Sabi and Mama Pill and Ma'a and all of our elders who touched us when we were young indigos. I'm talking 8 and 9 and 10, bro. They were saying things to us that we could not see.
right.
We were young and we were still impressionable. So guess who was going against Dr. Sabi's teachings? Slick Rick the Ruler and MC Ricky D. Reggie Fretch, the Fat Boys.
Right.
I'm DMC. We was in Run's house. We wanted to be in Run's house, not Usha Institute.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We wanted to be with LL and his radio. So hip hop went against
That was it.
what my mom and them was trying to instill in us to be, you know, twin Marleys and whatnot.
But you know, it was a different time too. Like you say, like how it wasn't cool. Wasn't cool to talk about mental health and certain things a while ago. When y'all were youth, vegetarianism and veganism, ital living definitely was not cool nor easy.
Fam.
And I know there was some times I had to eat some of that tofu crunch, right?
You ever had a rice cake?
That's what I'm saying. I know y'all had quinoa burgers,
niggas,
and tofu crunch.
These niggas traumatized about mayonnaise sandwiches. I'm like, nigga, you ever had a rice cake with peanut butter for dinner?
That's what my children say. I did traumatize them with quinoa. My daughter will say that shit straight up, that I traumatized her with quinoa. You know?
And all too well.
Yeah, so
I was like, you know, I mean, because we talk about food, but that shit played a very big part of my life because food is synonymous with culture. And I came back to visit. We came back to visit our father. It was during Christmas, and we was in St. Croix. They had glass trees out there, but you know it was 90 degrees during Christmas. So even though a lot of the people was Christian, that's not what we was on.
Right.
Hurtful per se. I just find, you know, it was just a period of time that we was able to take a vacation, and I went to go see him, and he hit us with that Big Mac.
A real Big Mac too.
The Big Mac attack.
Big Mac.
Real original Big Mac from back.
Right. The special sauce.
Yeah. And the you know what I'm saying? I didn't have a palate yet developed for that shit. I remember it when I talk about it like it was yesterday. That's how powerful them chemicals was.
Right.
And then I vividly remember grown men, melanated, used to come to Sabi's office and try to fight him in St. Croix. And he would send people out and they would come back with black eyes, broken
violence when we was young, that traumatized us.
Yeah, they were trying to ride on him
and all of that. Like we seen violence in St. Croix.
He was trying to
it was centered around healing. They was trying to wash him.
They were trying to wash him up. They was literally physically rising up against him because they said that he was an obeah man.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so the Christian zealots, the people that was very radical and fanatical,
right?
They was trying to perpetuate violence on that situation. So I think as a child, we was like, why would I want to be around some shit like that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Opposed to over here, you know, Pop's got a biscuit, you know what I'm saying? He lives in a Flatbush. That was our first time touching the bush. We was like, oh, this is a different type of Caribbean. Like,
right. Yeah, man. I mean,
and that Big Mac.
We really do have to think about like the liberty and our children, you know, like hearing y'all, like I thought it's so deep because knowing y'all, you would think like you didn't come up with the trauma side of it. Like because you know, I know some youth, you know, ones like brethren and sister and they youth, them youth just grown up bona fide, you know, from when they were like it was just in them. They felt it. They felt the music. They felt the food. Them just resonate. Them was rebels. So they need no wants from Babylon to, you know, and they just doing their thing. That was the impression I had of y'all, you know, because y'all so firm in it now. You wouldn't think that as youth coming up, you had the perspective of the trauma side, you know, and it's good that y'all share that.
Guess what?
But we need to hear that.
Yeah, everybody needs to hear that because this is something that we all are facing still.
Yeah, man.
If it's not some of our mamas disowning us because we went spiritual and we not religious, then it's our children and the mothers of our children,
intergenerational
children looking at us like, what are you talking about? Like
the intergenerational transfer of the culture.
This
is one of the reasons why the baton gets dropped.
That's a fact. But let me share something. The reason why we right here. The only reason that we right here is because they didn't give up on us. And I'm talking on both sides because my father didn't give up on us when we went, because when we went with him, we basically kept going. Like he brought us in the house and we kept going. We jumped off the porch and ran into the streets.
Right.
And he didn't give up on us after we did that. And my mama, she didn't give up on us when we ran in the streets. Sabi didn't give up on us. They still had love. They still would console us. They did not throw us away. They did not lose faith in us. They just was like, this is a phase that y'all going through. That's what Sabi would tell my mother when she was crying. That's just a phase that they're going through. Let them go through their phase. They're going to come back. So for the parents that are out there and the children are not jacking what you're talking about consciously, keep planting seeds, keep watering the seeds, never throw them away, never let them go. Never say, well, if you're not with the aunt, then I
can't bang with you. Nah.
I can't bang with you. If you're not with this kid you are, then you're not mine. Don't ever do that, because if you do that, they're gonna remember that. Don't let go. Just keep teaching and keep doing you. Because guess what? If my parents did not exemplify what it is that they were talking, and later on down the line, when we decided to give it a shot, we didn't have examples. Like, you know, if Sabi was not in his 80s doing things that 50-year-olds were doing, it wouldn't have resonated to whereas that became an option after we were burnt out because the streets burnt us out. It wasn't, but so our 9 lives were almost up. You know what I mean?
At 8.5.
We was at 8.5. We were at the bottom of the 8th. We were Tupac. We was Tupac when Suge came and got his ass out of yeah, he was about to go to general population the day before he got his slip, probably. So we were hangnails.
Y'all needed sea moss by the gallon.
We did.
And that's actually what brought me back. I got sick. My blood was so poisonous. Ready to tell you, when I went in, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was eating everything. They said I had a cholesterol count of somebody that was 300 plus pounds.
Wow.
Butter on everything. I used to drink gallons of milk. You know what I'm saying? Like religiously, every night I would have to have a pack of chocolate chip cookies in my milk. I couldn't go to sleep without it. And this would be like 1:30, 2 in the morning after I come out home from the street. So my blood was just acidic. It was beyond acidic, to the point where I had went to the doctor and it was like, there's nothing we can do for you. You feel me? And I had to crawl and go see mama.
Yes.
And mama,
truth does prevail, because that's the journey of my 2 oldest.
Yeah,
it was illness. It was disease and sicknesses that they didn't have challenges with as a youth.
Yes.
When they started eating Babylon,
yeah,
that's what moved them back to being, ital, give thanks.
Overindulgent.
And going to acupuncturists and, right now they dealing with the crystals, things that kind of they was clowning in the earlys, So yeah, man, give thanks.
So when I went back to my mother and Sadie at the time, she was like, if you can't commit for 6 months, go back and tell them doctors to cook up something for you because I don't got nothing for you. And I was like, what? 6 months? This shit sounded like a bid. I was like, the most I could promise is 90 days, but 6 months? She was like, yeah, 6 months. You can't eat meat for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get on the CMOS immediately. I'm like, see, back to this? I was fighting it, but I had no options. You know what I'm saying? I needed the help, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't go to the white coach because they was telling me, look, we can't do nothing for you.
Yeah, we gave him a chance.
I had no option, and I went with it. In the first 2 weeks in, I was already experiencing things that had affirmed to me that I had made the right decision. And at that point in time, I decided, to buckle up and go all the way in, the deep dive. And I fell off and got back on, fell off and got back on. I ain't go straight through.
Right.
But this one I was
that's the journey, and that's where the learning more time comes in a fullness.
I was developing the psychology, which was more important. You got to get your mind right. And then the CMOS was allowing me to break chemical dependency or signals there was, because now the parasites is ravaging. And what, nigga, you trying to switch up? Oh, it's like, and the thing is, like, I was reading, I would go and see my mother and Sabi, and he would have the Aquarian gospel laying around. So I started diving into that. And it would say that the devil exists in the abominations of man, right? Like parasites.
Right.
So the thing is, like, I would be like, yo, I just looked at it like as a spiritual battle. You know what I'm saying? I looked at it almost like a spiritual battle. I'm like, yo, I gotta regain myself. I have to regain my own control of my consciousness from these lower entities that exist in my bowels and the control of my actions. They sending signals when I'm passing KFC. I'm like, I don't want that. Why I'm going in, like, you know what I mean? It really brought me in contact with myself to be cognizant of what thoughts was yours versus which ones wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And you start learning your voice. You start learning what you sound like as opposed to the chemicals that are inside of you, that lower frequency that's just driving you to destroy yourself, because now you're just a host to a parasite who wants to eat. And that's all them inclinations that I'm eating food 1:30, 2 in the morning, knowing damn well. That was a demon in me. And the shit coincided with the demonic shit that I was doing in the street.
Wow.
So I see a direct correlation, you know what I mean, of getting those entities and the worms up out of you, you feel me, and fortifying yourself with the nutrients to being able to really, have a new vision. You know what I'm saying? Because you're cleaning out the brain, you're cleaning out the eyes, you're clearing up your vision. And then that's when I took off. That's when I started developing my game plan.
Wow.
And then down consciousness. And then I got into my entrepreneurial bag. Like, look, I'm gonna build this thing up. And I didn't have nobody to look to at the time because there was nobody else here doing that. But I believed enough because of the healing that I got. And then I had I was in a relationship with a young lady, and she wasn't on the regimen. You know what I'm saying? But she had got sick. She was Dominican, so her staple diet was cheese, rice and bean, and bread and dairy. And didn't understand why she was blowing up. And I lightly suggested it, right? And she brought me up to the commission of her family, the nana, the mama, the auntie. You know what I'm saying? And I was emphatically instructed to never make a connection to food and disease in that family. Or I would be politely asked, you know what I'm saying, to go. They took ultimate offense to it. So their culture is tied into food. All cultures tied into food.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was like, damn, the only thing I could do is trick her into health. So that started my odyssey of creating Seven Heaven Sea Moss. Because I'm like, yo, she wouldn't drink the sea moss the way the Sabian them was giving it to me. She was like, no way, it's not gonna happen. So I had to get in there and manufacture a recipe that would now be, oh, this is good. What's this?
Right.
You'd be like, you know that was helping you, right? You can't do it the other way. And then my people in the street got sick. The same people that I left, they ended up all getting sick. So I had to administer, you know, a level of help to people by putting the medicine in the poison. You know what I'm saying? But when I say poison, I'm just saying they're looking for taste and texture first. They're not concerned with, yo, what this shit to me. You know? So it's been an odyssey, you know what I mean? And it was all built out of necessity. And, you know, for me as a youth, to sit back and look at where the world is at now with sea moss. You know, to look at it, man, and I'm like, yo, this is amazing, because we was orientated one way with sea moss. When I got to Flatbush, the RAS was doing it different. They was doing it different.
How was Sabi dealing the moss in the earlies?
It was all
Raw.
When I got to Flatbush in New York, the RAS was doing it, but they wasn't doing it raw. It was still goat milk, condensed milk, cane sugar in it. You know what I'm saying? And it was not being shared as a family food. It was only for the you know, for the strong back properties.
Right. And so, like, would he make blend ups with it, or when you say raw, you just had to deal the moss like plain?
It was plain. They was making tea out of it. They was making out of it, and they was making like
I can imagine as a child that was like
It wasn't cold smoothies. It was hot. It was warm smoothies. And you drunk this every single day, and sometimes this is all you had.
Right.
You feel me? Sprouts,
salad, a little bowl of salad, and some sea moss.
And then
no agave.
Yeah, none
of that new shit that they got.
Right. And the only other food that I remember outside of that, we would have to go into the mountains to see some RAS that used to cook
the Pop-Tarts.
No, not the Pop-Tarts. Remember the bean burritos you had to get out of the from the aluminum foil. Yeah, and they was cooked in the heated thing.
And the heated thing, they were mixing the tarts.
And the VI, because you talking about in the Virgin Islands,
Virgin Islands, When they made Pop-Tarts, they had the indigenous version of Pop-Tarts where they had the pots, the hot pots, and they was mixing up all of the fruits and stuff like that, and they would put it in between the bread, and that was our tarts.
Right.
But the sea moss that we were drinking with Sabi smelled like sea moss.
Right. Yeah.
You see how they got the gel right now? It don't got no smell. You could throw that right in the water and drink it. We had the shit bruh.
No, what this sea moss is.
You smelled the ocean
on the Titanic.
You smelled the brine. You smelled the minerals.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up. You feel me? So that's what we, so the minute I got that Big Mac.
So the culture has come far, bro, and leaps and bounds. The culture has sea moss is a part of it. I was in Whole Foods.
Yeah, you look at I gotta shout out my brethren Hawk, Black and Nobel. I mean, he
made it. Yeah, he popped
it. Sea moss Gold, him and Tyson, man, they do it like they got an industry around this thing now.
Branded.
I even think I saw Meek Mill tweeted about the sea moss.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're right. Times have changed.
Bro, he's the plug. He low key, he's El Chapo with a CMOS. Like he's out there moving weight.
He moving weight.
Serious. He's moving weight.
Yeah, he's moving weight on Mars. You're right.
I don't know if we sell books. He sell Moss.
I think
right.
I think he put King Erna on. King
They
Erna
still hustling their book. They still doing their books. Yeah, but the Moss.
CMOS.
The emphasis on the Moss. He's the Moss boss. He's the plug.
Yeah, he's the Moss boss.
Tyson's coming to Tucson with us this year.
Yeah. I love what they took it to. You know what I'm saying? I love what they grew into. I love the fact that Tyson is dealing with, other aspects of the mineral kingdom. And this is what I'm saying. This is what you got to wait for. Because this is what happened to me. When I started mineralizing myself with CMOS, my brother will let you know, this is when I became a humble servant to the mineral kingdom. And this is when the gems and all of the other stuff started happening. I'm telling you, there's miracles are going to happen when people fully start mineralizing themselves.
Yeah. And wake up the elements within us.
Shit that they had in them that never been awoke.
Right.
About it. The mineral game is going to explode, and people are going to... Yeah, these inclinations to start rapping. Like the people that I know that's cold-blooded, they just started. Like they didn't take no classes or nothing. They just picked up wire and did shit that had to be in their DNA because the shit is crazy. And I'm like, no one, I know
what you're talking about.
Bro.
I've seen it too. Yo, we getting downloads like what, man? I'm seeing these people coming up with these technologies, and right, to them, they just having fun with the wire and the crystal. But then I see what you're dealing with. And it's a download.
DNA, yeah, it's a download. It's a download.
Yeah, activation.
They getting activated. You know what I'm saying? You'll find it in these crystal rappers, these wire rappers. You'll find the downloads are coming through them. Look at the shit that they rapping. Look how they rapping. And I'll show you some crazy shit. But
and it's the youth, man, the younger one.
Yeah, you out there with the youth. There's something about that grid. So
yeah. While we on it, I gotta big up my Philly Crystal Jones, my sister Crystal Jones. Like this sister, man. When I just see how she moving so purposeful with this mineral nation.
She the truth.
But so humble.
Everybody I know got amazing things to say about her.
She's inspiring, man. This sister is inspiring, bro.
She reached out to us because they double booked one of our events the same day as hers, and I was attempting as best I could to get out there and show support at her event first, but we got stuck in traffic. The GPS, did the GPS thing. So I look forward to it. You know what I'm saying? I look forward to meeting her.
She'll be in Tucson with us. I'm bringing her out there. Yeah. So, yeah, man. I'm inspired by this next crop coming up.
Yeah.
And just how they got this natural awakening. Yeah,
in the A, this is Copper Union. Like from the homeless people to the upper crust, like everybody's twisting. But it's a lot of the children, a lot of these star seeds, millennials and Generation Z's and all of that. They into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They into it. These stones in
the So man. I'm thankful. What a time to be alive. If you don't have nothing else to be thankful for, give thanks that you got life, health, and strength in 2020, man. It's so exciting, But brethren, I could chop it up with y'all all night. We time warping. And I know my empress is like, yo, RAS, what's up? Lights out, come to bed. I'm going to have to honor the empress.
You got to.
Man.
Appreciate the time that you have taken out this evening.
I give thanks. Hey, let me even just put this plug in real quick.
Yes.
I am doing a personal 2020 chart interpretations. You can go to rospin.com. There's a link on my homepage, or go to the services page. And you can line up your personal 2020 forecast, custom made for your frequency and energy dynamics based on your natal chart, and also pages I'm working on the reprint. February, Rocks of Ages should be available. Ja willing, keep the prayers up, you know? So keep a lookout for that. And I'm also going to be setting up my website to take Tucson pre-orders because, you know, this is the time if you want the Moldavite, the Morganite, the Emerald, the Aquamarine, the Phenakite, all those exotic, rare crystals that, you know, I don't have every day, right? Now's the time to put that order in. So, Rospin188@gmail is my email. If you want to hit me up, like, you know, a specific stone you want to acquire, I'm gonna be in Tucson. Now's my time. I can, you know, score that for you. But I am going to also set up my website in the coming days to be able to take pre-orders.
Yes,
you know. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, and also look for a more active presence of me on social media in 2020. I'm gonna come out of the turtle shell more. You know, I love you. Y'all, look, y'all see where I'm at. Ain't nothing. It's not I'm very magnetic right here, and I'm cool with the magnetic charge I got right here. You know, but I know I gotta be more available in 2020, and so I'm gonna make that my intention, and so I'm gonna have a more active IG presence, Facebook presence, YouTube presence, and I do. The last couple of years I've been Philly bound also. I do plan on
moving around,
getting out, making moves, you know. So
you already know.
Look out, you know. Here we are. Look out, you know. But give thanks for letting me connect with the Know the Ledge community, highest frequency community out there. Y'all showed me enough love when Free Your Mind came out. You know, y'all showed me enough love. Give thanks. And I do got one more in the chamber on the Dogon.
When you see that picture in Parliament, you know, I've explained to you that's a culmination of the spark that was created on the plane heading over. I was educating myself. I was opening my mind's eye. I was re-educating myself about geomancy, architecture, about Rome. I did a lecture series called When in Rome. So, you know, even getting a chance to touch down in the UK and make these connections immediately, I was like, oh, I just seen Philly, New York, DC, and Atlanta just driving from the airport to Brixton, right? The geomancy of these places, I'm seeing whole neighborhoods that I'm seeing. I'm like, yo, I seen this in America before.
Right.
They got this shit. They templated their whole.
You saw the blueprint.
I seen the mother to the daughter. I seen the mama. You feel me? We went into the womb. So I had already, because of that book, I was prepared to do a different level of what I would say, well, you know, that work. Understanding what sort of nodes that I had to hit. You know what I mean? So and it was my reaffirmation that it was time to get back to visiting mounds here in this particular country and activating these mounds and doing the mound work. You know, so I'm totally on it. You know what I'm saying? Just to be able to, like you said in your 2020 breakdown, be a conduit for synchro mysticism. That's what I like to call it. You know what I'm saying? Syncopated, synchronistic mysticism. You know what I'm saying? Just being in the right place at the right time.
Right time. Alignment over everything.
Yeah. Get that 90-yard pass and you just take one step and you in the touchdown. Like, oh shit, that was wild easy. I just had to turn around. I caught it and I took one step and I won the game. Shit. Fuck.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, being on time, family, like that's how easy this is gonna be. So we wanted to make sure we laid out the blueprint so you can align yourself to your proper time. You know what I mean? So you could be at that victory party November 13th. You know what I'm saying? For that
Yes, sir.
and we're gonna do it on the 21st. You know, we can party it up.
Yeah, but before that, we're gonna see you in Tucson. We have we're gonna launch to go to Tucson. There's a theory, there's a formula that I use when it comes to clothing amongst the different manufacturers in Harlem. We put all of our money together when we go downtown. I mean, when we go in front of the Arabs and the Jews and the Asians, we don't go 10 deep, but we have everybody's money with us. And that's more impactful than 10 Negroes in one store where they scared of us anyway.
Right.
So when two of us come in there with like a few $1,000s, it's impactful. And they treat us better than they would if we were shopping retail. But when you shop bulk and when you shop wholesale, you have leverage. So when we go to Tucson, Arizona, like Blue said, there's rooms that they don't even let us in yet. And there's markets that are available. And there's other places where these stones come from. So in 2020, where there's no opposition, nothing stopping us, our aim as a collective is to go inside of those doors that have been previously closed, because this is the year where those doors can open up. So we want to go to Tucson very healthy, economically wise. So we're going to do a show to raise funds, match what we put on the table. So let's say that we say, yo, look, we got $5,000 that we're going to go to Arizona with. We need to raise 5 more so we could really go up in that thing and do what it do. So that's what we're about to do. And
all right, call me. I'm on that show.
Yeah, because the book that when I read Rocks of All Ages, I was already dripping with the stones. But that book, like a Bible, it powered those stones. It really gave power to them. So now I'm not just wearing them, I'm experiencing them. So I want to do another show before February where we give them some of the science and we push that book so the family could.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna master this. What's this? I'm gonna master my StreamYard.
Yeah.
All right, because I got a presentation on Tucson.
Okay.
Line that joint up to share with y'all. So we're gonna line that up. All right.
I'm in over everything.
Yes, I.
This platform. Thank you, everybody, for tonight's show. Thank you, everyone who's in the building who came through. Like I said, Know the Ledge Radio. This will be a weekly thing. You will see Red and Blue come together and create classics the same way that we did
Know the Ledge Radio.
Blog Talk. There may be a change in the actual sites. We may go to a whole nother site, but it's still on YouTube. But it will just be a whole nother thing. I think it's Know the Ledge Empowerment. I'm not 100% sure, but we might move it there. But with that being said, I'll see y'all tomorrow for Third Eye Thursdays, Blue next week, Tough Talk Tuesdays, and also Melanin Mondays. Same bat time, same bat channel. You know, love and light to the family. Peace and prosperity to research and do your inner work. That's what I would leave it with.
Yes, I. Love, respect, honor.
No doubt. Peace.
Peace.